Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of the newly formed Yoruba Nation.
ìwọ ni ògo adúláwọ̀. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sí orí ètò ti ọ̀sán yìí ní agbára Ọlọ́run ní ọ̀sán yìí tó bá jẹ́ ìdí alẹ́ lẹ́wà níbi tẹ́ ti ń wò wá àbí òwúrọ̀ àbí ìyálẹ̀ta lẹ́wà ó bá sì jẹ́ ìrọ̀lẹ́ gbogbo àkókò tẹ́ bá wà náà ni a kí pé ẹ káàbọ̀ sí orí ètò ti ìrọ̀lẹ́ yìí. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń wò mí tẹ́ ń gbọ́ mi tí ẹ bá ń gbọ́ mi dáadáa ẹ jọ̀ọ́ mo fẹ́ kẹ́ ẹ bá mi fi hàn pé ẹ ń gbọ́ mi dáadáa, especially ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lórí YouTube àbẹ́yìn tẹ́ wà lórí Facebook tẹ́ bá ń gbọ́ mi dáadáa ẹ jẹ́ kí n mọ̀ pé ẹ ń gbọ́ mi dáadáa. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lórí Zoom bákan náà ẹ jọ̀ọ́ tẹ́ bá ń gbọ́ mi dáadáa ẹ jẹ́ kí n rí ìka yín, ìka àtàǹparòkò yẹn ẹ bá mi ṣe sókè kí n wò pé ẹ ń gbọ́ mi dáadáa sà. Ṣé ẹ ń gbọ́ mi? Ẹ ṣé bàbá. Àwọn àlejò wa yòókù ńkọ́, ṣé ẹ ń gbọ́ mi dáadáa? Tẹ́ bá ń gbọ́ mi, ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lórí Zoom, ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lórí YouTube àti Facebook ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ bá mi tẹ 1 sí tẹ́ bá ń gbọ́ mi dáadáa, nítorí pé mo fẹ́ make sure pé gbogbo nǹkan tí à ń ṣe lọ́sàn yìí agbọ́ra wa yéké. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí mo ṣe sọ, ẹ káàbọ̀ sí orí ètò ti ọ̀sán yìí. Oríṣiríṣi ohun tí ẹ ní lọ́kàn láti béèrè lọ́lọ́kan òjọ̀kan lọ́wọ́ bàbá wa ní ọ̀sán yìí la máa fún yín láyè láti béèrè. Àwọn nǹkan kan máa wà tó yẹ pé tẹ́ bá béèrè mo lè má jẹ́ kí bàbá dáhùn for security reason, but yàtọ̀ sí yẹn gbogbo nǹkan tó bá yẹ kí wọ́n sọ ni a máa dá sí lọ́sàn-án yìí. Gbogbo nǹkan tẹ́ bá fẹ́ mọ̀ pátápátá lẹ lè béèrè, àti pàápàá jùlọ lórí pé ṣé àwọn Gẹ̀ẹ́sì ṣé wọn ò fẹ́ kí a di olómìnira ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ni àbí báwo ló ṣe jẹ́, nítorí pé oríṣiríṣi àhesọ ọ̀rọ̀ ni a ti ń gbọ́. A fẹ́ sọ lásán, a fẹ́ ṣe lásán, a fẹ́ ohunkóhun tẹ́ bá gbọ́ lẹ́nìí, ohun tẹ́ bá gbọ́ lẹ́nìí, a ní àwọn nǹkan tí a lè fi tì lẹ́yìn, a ní àwọn ẹ̀rí tí a lè fi tì lẹ́yìn gẹ́gẹ́ bí àkọọ́lẹ̀ lọ́lọ́kan òjọ̀kan tí ẹ lè fi tì kíní ọ̀hún lẹ́yìn. Kì í ṣe àwọn tó wà lórí Zoom nìkan ló máa ní àǹfààní láti béèrè béèrè, àtàwọn tó wà lórí Zoom àtàwọn tó wà online gbogbo wọn ló máa ní àǹfààní láti béèrè ìbéèrè tí ó bá jẹ́ pé ó jẹ́ wọn lógún, nítorí pé tí èèyàn ò bá mọ̀nà, tí èèyàn ò bá sì béèrè ọ̀nà, èèyàn máa ń ṣìnà ni. Nítorí pé kí àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá kan bá máa ṣìnà, nítorí rẹ̀ gangan ni mo ṣe mú ètò ìwá fún yín. A dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ àlejò wa ti ọ̀sán yìí. Bàbá wa ni wọ́n, Òdu ni wọ́n ń ṣe àìmọ̀fólókó. Wọ́n jẹ́ bàbá tó nífẹ̀ẹ́ Oòduà púpọ̀. Ó dẹ̀ ti pẹ́ lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọdún sẹ́yìn tí wọ́n ti ń jà pé kí òmìnira kó lè bá àwọn ọmọ káàárọ̀ oòjíire níbikíbi tí wọ́n bá wà, pàápàá jùlọ ní ilẹ̀ Oòduà, kí àwọn ọmọ káàárọ̀ oòjíire kán má di ẹrú ní ilẹ̀ bàbá wọn. Lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí mo kí n káàbọ̀ sí orí ètò ti ọ̀sán yìí. Kí n tó fi ojú àlejò mi hàn, mo fẹ́ dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ọba Ọlọ́run aláwùrábí, ọba tó ní ká máa bẹ tá à ń bẹ, ọba tó ní ká máa wà tá à ń wà, ọba tó dá wa sí di wákàtí yìí ọba tí ò jẹ́ ká sọnù ọba tí ò jẹ́ ká parẹ́ máa yé lára ọba tí ò jẹ́ ká kú di òmùgọ̀ nítorí pé tí ẹ̀ bá di òmùgọ̀ tí ẹ̀ bá ti mọ̀ pé nǹkan báyìí ló yẹ ká ṣe àbí nǹkan báyìí ló ká má ṣe ìyẹn máa ń di òmùgọ̀ ni ọba yìí nìkan ni ò jẹ́ ká di òmùgọ̀ lórí ilẹ̀ wa nítorí ìdí èyí ẹ jẹ́ kí n fi ojú àlejò mi wọ̀n bàbá ẹ̀ka alẹ́ ẹ̀ka àsán ẹ̀kú déédé àsìkò yìí ṣálẹ̀ àfíà la wà gbogbo lé ńkọ́. àgbọ̀yìn o bàbá. ẹ hold on sir ẹ jẹ́ kẹ́lòmíì bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ ká wo bóyá ọ̀dọ̀ mi ni kíní ọ̀hún ti sáfẹ́rẹ́ díẹ̀ àbọ̀dọ̀ bàbá wa gangan ni. ẹ hold on bàbá o torí àgbọ̀yìn rárá. alàgbà with the iPhone ẹ bá a sọ̀rọ̀ ká gbóhùn yín wò. ó lè jẹ́ látọ̀dọ̀ mi bíbá ẹ fún mi ní ìṣẹ́jú àáyá kí n fi yanjú kinní ọ̀hún nítorí tó bá jẹ́ ọ̀dọ̀ mi bíbá ó yẹ kí ẹ fẹ́ gbá sí mi ń dì ní ó dà pé ọ̀dọ̀ mi bíbá ni o nítorí ìdí èyí ẹ fún mi ní ìṣẹ́jú kan kí n sáré yanjú kinní ọ̀hún ọ̀dọ̀ mi bíbá ni mo tọrọ àforíjì ní ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọ̀nà pé ọ̀dọ̀ mi bíbá ni kinní ọ̀hún ti sáfẹ́rẹ́ díẹ̀ ẹ jẹ́ kí n wo nǹkan tí a lè ṣe sí pé ó dà kó máa sọ̀rọ̀ nísìnyí bàbá àgbóhùn yín nísìnyí ẹ káàbọ̀ sí orí ètò tọ̀sán yìí bàbá àti gbóhùn yín àgbóhùn yín dáadáa nísìnyí sà. Any screen you are green. A rí yín dáadáa sà. Mi à ṣe ìgbà rẹ̀. Ẹ ṣé bàbá. Ẹ ṣé sà. Mi mọ̀ bóyá ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lórí Facebook or kí ló ń pè é or YouTube bóyá ẹ̀ ń gbọ́ bàbá dáadáa. Tẹ́ bá gbọ́ wọn dáadáa ẹ bá mi tẹ nọ́mbà 5 mi mọ̀ bóyá ẹ̀sùn abẹ́ ẹ̀sùn. Tẹ́ bá gbọ́ bàbá dáadáa ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ bá mi tẹ nọ́mbà 5 ó lè dá mi lójú pé ẹ̀ ń gbọ́ bàbá dáadáa. òkè ẹ̀gbọ́n dáadáa ẹ jẹ́ kí n tún kíní ọ̀hún ṣe díẹ̀ sí bíbá yìí ẹ fún mi ní ìṣẹ́jú àáyá ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ má bínú sí mi ẹ mọ̀ pé ọmọdé ni mí ọmọdé ò lè ṣe kò lè mẹ́kọ́ jẹ kó má ra lọ́wọ́ náà síbẹ̀síbẹ̀ òkè ẹ̀ ń gbọ́ lọ́dọ̀ yín bẹ̀ yẹn ṣe ìtàn ọ̀dìbò ọ̀nà YouTube. Bàbá ẹ ní sùúrù fún wa fún ìṣẹ́jú kan péré sáà ó dà pé àwọn tó wà lórí YouTube yẹn wọ́n ní wọn ò gbọ́ yín dáadáa tó mo dẹ̀ fẹ́ kán gbọ́ yín nítorí pé tó bá gbọ́ yín gan ni àlàáfíà wà fẹ́mi gangan fúnra ara mi ẹ hold on bàbá ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ má bínú sí mi sà.
mo rí mẹ́sẹ̀jì kan pé akínyẹn láti gbà ní pé àwọn sọ mi pé ajá bọ̀tún ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ ṣe sàn pé ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì náà wà lọ́dọ̀ mi.
ẹ níbẹ̀rẹ̀ nìyẹn ok ẹ ṣe sà àwọn tó wà lórí ẹ̀rọ níbí báyìí náà ni wọ́n gbọ́ bàbá dáadáa nítorí èdè èyí ẹ jẹ́ kí n sáré yanjú rẹ̀ ní ìṣẹ́jú àáyá kí wọ́n lè gbọ́ bàbá dáadáa nítorí pé a fẹ́ káwọn èèyàn wá gbọ́ bàbá dáadáa sound is off. ok màá ṣe níbí báyìí sà. ẹ má bínú sí mi gbogbo ẹ̀yin ará lé o.
ó dàbí wá pé ọ̀dọ̀ heritage ní problem wa.
ok bàbá ẹ sọ̀rọ̀ ní ìsìn sà.
hello ẹ kú kalẹ̀ o.
ọmọ
ọ̀dọ́ àlèmí náà ọlọ́run á fún wa lọ́nà láti rí ẹ̀yìn gbogbo gbòrògbòdì àtàwà ní orílẹ̀ wa. Mi ò kí ń fẹ́ dárúkọ orílẹ̀ tán pín wa mọ́. Orílẹ̀ tó yẹ kó wà láyé láti ìgbà tán ti dálẹ̀. Ọjà náà dálẹ̀ fún àwa la sọ di ìlú àwa Yorùbá particularly.
ẹ ṣé bàbá ká tó máa tẹ̀síwájú sà àwọn èèyàn ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ èèyàn ló ti sọ pé àwọn British wọn ò fẹ́ kí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá dá dúró jẹ́ òótọ́ ni kínní yìí àbí irọ́ ni sà.
àwọn tó sọ̀rọ̀ wọn ò wádìí ọ̀rọ̀ nítorí èmi tí mo jókòó mo ní àǹfààní láti mọ ìdí ọ̀rọ̀ láti primary school. Grandfather mi ló ti sọ fún mi. Bọ̀gbà tí mo wá bẹ̀ sí ń wádìí mo rí pé àwọn documents tí ó tó wa lọ́wọ́ from various sources, I have many of them lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ mi bíbá mo láti ṣe presentation kan very soon láìpẹ́ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ tí àwọn èèyàn wa ń sọ pé British ló ń dá wa dúró. Wọ́n dá wa dúró àwa la fọwọ́ ara wa fà á. Kán tó tẹ igbá ọjà wọn tán pè ní Nàìjíríà àwọn èèyàn wa ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń gbé àsíá pé one nation. Ṣé bàbá wọn ló dá one nation ni starting from Herbert Macaulay tí gbogbo ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ máa ń pè ní father of Nigerian nationalism. What Nigeria? The question is what Nigeria? Ẹ jẹ́ àwádìí Nàìjíríà táwọn òyìnbó mọ̀ pé àwọn kàn dálẹ̀ láti pa owó tán máa fi san gbèsè tán jẹ́ ń South Africa. Nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ nìyẹn. Tí wọ́n bá jẹ gbèsè ní South Africa wọ́n bá má pa àméjèèjì pọ̀. Lugard and his white administrators in the north. Wọ́n rẹ́ pẹ̀lú àwọn white administrators. Ẹ máa rántí orúkọ MacGregor tó ṣe MacGregor canal. Wọ́n ń fojú ríra wọn. Tí wọ́n bá ń bọ̀ lọ́dọ̀ láti wá jíṣẹ́ wọ́n ìjọ rìn. Lugard àti ìyàwó ẹ̀ máa lọ parọ́ pẹ̀lú financial Times of London. Wọ́n á máa paint the north as a beautiful place, educated, whereas ìrọ̀lẹ́ ni. Nísàlẹ̀ ẹ máa mọ̀ pé iléèwé ti wà tó ju Nàìjíríà lọ from 1856 Seven Grammar School and many other schools and institutions wọ́n ti wà ńlẹ̀. So Lugard ò fẹ́ràn gbogbo kínní. So MacGregor ní òun fẹ́ tọ́jú Èkó ló bẹ̀ sí ṣe canals àti waterways so that wàhálà mosquito, in fact wọ́n tún distribute mosquito nets fún àwọn tí wọ́n bá ń bẹ̀ tí wọ́n bá fẹ́ràn aṣọ máa ṣe irú yẹn. But bí àgbàgbé yẹn náà ká wá máa bọ̀ níwájú 1919 gbà tí Lugard fẹ́ kúrò ó kọ sínú documents tó describe wa ó dẹ̀ fún wa ní warning pé look, the Fulanis are a menace and a nuisance to anybody they seem to attach themselves to. If our educated elites, starting from the Herbert Macaulays, D.H.O. Davis and others, and Randalls, if they looked at this, ṣé wọ́n á sọ pé ká ìjọ gba òmìnira pẹ̀lú àwọn arábìnrin? Wọ́n sọ́ọ́lẹ̀ even Lugard tó pawápọ̀ ó ṣe wọ́n nìyẹn sílẹ̀. 1953 one of the first meetings tó ń ṣe tí in fact èmi àtàwọn kan we surmise that representation in the meeting was wrong. It should not have been on a political basis. Action Group, NCNC and MPC. The people who signed the original document of protectorship, not amalgamation, because you see anybody to sign amalgamation document. Irú Kitoya Ajasa and then no, not Kitoya Ajasa. The Alaafin Adeyemi the first was the one who signed with one other southern leader Yorùbá náà ni láti fi Yorùbá land àti colony of Lagos ṣe protectorate. Àwọn ló yẹ kó wá sí meeting yẹn, but unfortunately the result of that meeting is something that I have been crying about. The Secretary of State, even before that statement too, I will take you back 1902. Churchill sọ fún Lugard pé kó fi north ilẹ̀ pé they are useless to capital. But because Lugard fẹ́ràn pé kó máa gun ẹṣin kó máa gbá polo ní the vast grassland tó wà lọ́hùn, ó ṣàtìkára mọ́ pé eléyìí òun ò ní fílẹ̀ kó máa jẹ́ bí price tó ń gbà fún home of government pé achievement tó ń ṣe ní láti gba ilẹ̀ kan against the interest of the French. Torí tí ò bá ṣe àwọn French nìbá ní northern Nigeria kí a tètè ṣàlàyé yẹn fún yín. Now nígbà tí wọ́n á ṣe meeting because of all these things tó wà lẹ̀ and all the warnings both open and subtle and written. 1953 the Secretary of State Oliver Lutyens nígbà tí wọ́n pè ìpàdé táwọn Awólọ́wọ̀ Zik Abalewa àti Ahmadu Bello tán lọ àti Ẹ̀yọ̀ Ìtà. I will summarize what each one of them said. Ìgbà tí wọ́n máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ meeting Oliver Lutyens mú sìgá tó mú kù nìyẹn Churchill ó fi sáàrin table the round table ní Lancaster House pé Churchill ò lè wá sí meeting yìí o because kò sọ́tán kò fìgbà kan láì pé Nigeria exists. That's for Churchill. He hated that fact because àgbàná ló jẹ́ fún àwọn. But for the fact that the West was helping to bring some resources, tó ń gbà. So Oliver Lutyens wá sọ fún pé it is the presence of the British that is keeping Nigeria together. I can repeat. That was the first statement. It is the presence of the British that is keeping Nigeria together. Let it be known now, we have not come to discuss imperialism or neocolonialism. Kí ló yẹ kí àwọn èèyàn wá ṣe kán ṣèbó yẹ kán sọ pé eléyìí máa wú o ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ deliberate ká padà fún meeting. They should have called time for that meeting. Instead, àwọn èèyàn wá bẹ̀ sí dìde tán sọ̀rọ̀. Awólọ́wọ̀ dìde ó ní as far as me and my party are concerned, summary ni we shall assume our differences for freedom, and when we get freedom we shall transfer the details later. Looking at that statement, tí ó bá àwọn Zik àti Balewa summarize èsì tó fún Oliver Lutyens, the answer is no. Ẹ̀yọ̀ Ìtà tó tún represent on this ó dìde ó ní God will not forgive anybody who turns us into a free trade area, that is separate nations. And we went into that. And then the North said clearly, if we get independence, we are not afraid of independence. If we get independence, we will continue our conquest to the sea. These are open statements written all over the place, but our politicians in the South ignored it, always assuming that the Northerners are fools. They are not. Nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ń sìn wọ́n ti plan ẹ̀ sílẹ̀ over 200 years ago tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ sí wọ́n ń sìn. And that was what my grandfather warned me about when I was in the primary school. That àwọn arábí òun ṣe ara wa pé, and the same statement I heard that Bode Thomas said during that meeting pé look àwọn arábí òun ṣe ara wa jẹ́ kí olúkàkùn máa lọ́nà tiẹ̀, let us have our own nations back. We refused. Meanwhile, we have gone over the process of the Herbert Macaulay's campaigning all over the country, talking about Nigerian nation, and Awolowo writing about the path to Nigerian freedom instead of path to Yoruba freedom out of the mess. Ṣé wọn ò fojú núrò pé ọjà làwọn people wá tà? Wọ́n wá pàtẹ ọjà ní against the interest of the French and the Germans. In fact, ibi tí wọ́n pè ní Cameroon sìn ká ní Lugard tètè travel débẹ̀ ni Nàìjíríà tí wọ́n create ní ìbá wà nù ẹ̀ by the time tó máa kọjá Calabar ló bá dá lórí pé àwọn Germans débẹ̀ ló bá padà. You see, even Port Novo, my people they created it for their market, for the interest of if they did not come, other Europeans would have come. If they did not do it, the French would have taken over. So and what the British did was they said this man Thomas Golden, who had already been trading along the west coast, particularly in the Niger Coast area, he said, "Oh, this is our own man, and then we have right of claim over this land up to Lokoja. They are documented." So there was no point even coming forward in 1956-57. Our people were warned, or were not warned, they were advised that Ghana is going to have independence in 1957. Are you going to stay? As at that time, Western Nigeria was one of the best well-run governmental institutions in the world, apart from those in Britain and America. It was, as at that time, one of the prime ministers of Britain said if Awolowo was the prime minister of Britain, it would be a successful one. But one thing you should note, he did not say prime minister of Nigeria because they know Nigeria is an impossible. So they are giving us hints. Look, get out. We refuse. We are taking the bell of nationalism. You see a lot of us forming Nigerian nationalism. Even I myself formed a group called Nigerian. I was a part of a group of Nigerian Voluntary Services Association. We are building houses and covers and dispensaries. I can mention some of the places we do. We're all in the vision of the fact that we are looking at a Nigeria. But at the same time, right in my heart, because my mentor, used to help us that time because he was in charge of the Ministry of Youth and Social Welfare and Western Region. Used to help us getting transport to the different locations to work. So I'm explaining all this to tell you that the British never at one time forced us into Nigeria. We claimed Nigeria. We claimed it against their own interest. And that's why some of the British administrators who were working in the West, who the West saw that they were not competent enough, were removed and they all went to the North to work. We claimed Nigeria. The documents are there. And even some of you must have seen the statement of Balewa who said that Nigeria is not their own interest. It's a British interest. It does not belong to us. The interest of Britain is to make enough money to pay back USC. And they were paying back USC until 1999, if you want to know that. There was no signage of amalgamation ending after 100 years. Because that payment started from 1900.
So they paid in 1999?
Yes, and ended 1999, 99-year payment. So, and then one of the great administrators of the colonial administrators in Nigeria then, one I.F. Nicholson, he wrote a book, a detailed analysis of administration of Nigeria from 1900 to 1960. If you read it, you cry. That if this type of things are present, why did our people, our leaders, political leaders, put us into this mess? Even though they were great administrators of their own region. But what about the political future of me and you listening to me now? It hasn't been assured. It was never. I will even narrate the experience of Hamba Macaulay in 1946 in Kaduna when they had a rally calling for Nigerian nationality, Nigerian freedom and all that. There were only certain elements who came to that rally. The Northerners were looking at our people as and what are they doing? Unfortunately, most of them don't understand English language anyway. You are campaigning, you are using a foreign language to campaign for a country that never belonged to you in the first place. You only exist in it. So even as at the time of independence, the independence was not total. It should have been the dissolution of the amalgam. That would have been what should have been independence. We never had independence. We only handed a baton to another colonial administrator, of which Balewa represents. I don't blame him. The rest of us, after all, during that day, Awolowo himself was not properly invited to that handing over on October 1, 1960. You can check that part out because of some stupid positioning. I will say clearly, if anybody wants to blame Akitola, I don't blame him. Awolowo was already the political opposition leader in the federal house, and Balewa is the prime minister. What should have happened was that Balewa should have handed it across their side, the invitation letter, to his opposition leader, not sending it to Ibadan. So if anybody is blaming Akitola for whatever he did with the letter, I don't buy it. The beginning is that these people do not respect us. We put ourselves into it. We think that we fought for independence. We never fought for independence. It was just handed over out of our ignorance because it caused them, which my mom too used to ask me. Kini Elizabeth ṣe ta fi lé lọ. Mo lè mi ò mọ̀ pé ayé ìgbà Elizabeth ló dá. These are local women, and my grandfather, when I was in primary school, learned it something. We should not be part of Nigeria. If you are educated enough, tell your colleagues in the future. And I've been saying this message. I'm now 74. I was in primary school. I knew this. I never learned the Nigerian national anthem because the third sentence, the first one, first of all, it was written by a white lady. What I discovered even when I was in the second school then was the fact that our people could not collectively fashion a national anthem for themselves. It was a white lady who wrote it and another white lady wrote the lyrics. Then I said to myself, how can I sing such a song? I was in the secondary school then. I refused. The third verse says, no tribe and tongue made if in brotherhood we stand. How can tribe and tongue differ? How can you be brothers? How do you communicate? Ṣé ìbò bá wá sáàrin wa tó dá ìgbà ọjà alẹ̀ tó pè Nàìjíríà? Ṣé baálẹ̀ wa kan lè kọjá odò ọya sókè lọ́hùn kó sọ pé ẹ̀yin ará bíbá ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ ṣèlú pọ̀? We have been fooling ourselves. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àtàkàwé a máa sọ̀rọ̀ Cicero, a máa sọ̀rọ̀ political positioning and all that. That does not relate to us on the ground. Àwọn ẹlẹ́dàá wa ń ké pé a ń ṣe nǹkan tí ò yẹ ká ṣe. And this is one thing I've always felt all my life. Olódùmarè tó dá wa ní ọmọ Yorùbá kò fi ara mọ́ nǹkan tá a ṣe síra wa. Àwa la gbọ́ràn. I'll stop there so far.
Baba, there's a very big question that we want to put across to you. And this question is the interview with Aerosmith. Have you watched that interview by any chance?
I've watched it. I will surmise. The election was already won before it was conducted. You know why? When they were distributing constituencies, that was in 1947, in the guise of district council. The North had 168 district councils distributed to them. The West had 57, the East 77, and the colony of Lagos and Calabar had a balance, which made up 312. Check the records. So I have a document I think I sent to you one time that election should not have been held in the first place until a proper censor was held. Because there are more people in the South than anywhere, in the Southwest than anywhere in Africa. And so, how do we accept 57 seats? I was still second. I was a primary student. I used to wonder how will Awolowo win with only 57 states. Luckily, because of our kind of education, English and Yoruba was taught to us in the primary school, so we were able to read English language even before we got to primary 6. I was reading philosophy. I'm sorry I have to mention this. That was the only book my dad, who died when I was just 1 year and some months old, left behind for the liberty of man, woman and child. It's a rare book in the British Library now. It contains depth information on how to think. So at that time, Harold Smith did not look at the records. He did not look at the distribution of these consistencies. All he was, you see, he came later when all these things had been done. He was not there in 1947. I hope you all listen.
Yes, we're listening.
So he did not refer to that fault. That's the major fault. And that's why when anybody asks him, I said the election was already won before it was ever conducted. Because we allowed it. When the distribution was being done, 32 people represent the South and 18 represented the North. And it was held in Ibadan in 1947. And there was only one Englishman, an observer. They did not control the discussion of that distribution. They did not control the discussion of that distribution of the district council, which eventually became 168 in the north, 57 in the east, like 30 records, and 77 in the east, and Lagos and Calabar area had the rest balanced, which I think is 13. So that election and his report, even though he was so passionate about it, it's not anything convincing to me, because if you know the truth, you just wave it off. Because I've always told my friends, even Telugu, that look, carrying that document about has not informed me about the origin of that fraud, whether it was rigged or not. And again, some people think that using the number, the game of numbers, that the East won 2.9 million, and then the Action Group SNC 2.9 million, 1.9, and then the NPC did not won much lesser, but it was based on consistencies. Those votes in the north represented 134. The 97, the 1.9 million votes for the Action Group represented only 50, plus the ones they got from the middle belt, represented only 73 constituencies. How will 73 constituencies rule over one? And then the East got 83. So when you add them up, and that was why a coalition was supposed to come. And then coming back to that nitty point of coalition. In 1948, there was a conference read in Calabar by the National Youth Movement, which included the members of the Action Group. Action Group was not formed yet. We still had Ogomo and the essence which was already existing. In that meeting, I will tell you plainly, those whose parents attended are still alive today. One of them is in London. Zik had already been hinting that I would not like my people to be in the opposition. And that 1948 information was based on the fact that he already says that with 168 district offices in the north is bound to win. So he said, I would not like my people to be in the opposition. Then this report went to Awolowo, and then they had to leave the meeting. And that's there, and then they decided that they must have their own party. And then they went to launch it in 1951. Check the record. That's the evolution. And like I said, Shakara Williams too had won before he died in 1950. Being in Nigeria is going to drag back this Yoruba civilization by over 200 years. And Egba land itself refused to be part of Nigeria until 1918, when Lugard brought the Maxim gun and Hausa Banza soldiers to Abeokuta to fight, which most of you know as the Ogun Adubi. And you know the subsequent song that came with it, which is very sad. And to me, I still wonder, why did we not look into our history? Why are we looking at the history of Britain in our land? We did not go back. Even our schools that were older than Nigeria, those of them who attended those schools, why did they not bring out this past? I have been talking over and over. Even by the time I was leaving Nigeria to Britain in 1986, most of my friends would say, "Are you still going to be talking the way you be talking? We are going to suffer." I've been saying it. Are we not suffering now? Because people don't listen to little voices. They don't listen to the little voices talking to them. They end up either in a Yoruba tennis club or island club and all that, drinking and and gradually, as a student, we went to study energy and development in a Kanji Dam. There, Chief Laguju was the director of NDA. Said to us that immediately they turned on the mega 960 megawatts, they were going to shut down Ijora Pass. And that was 1969, mid 1969. Those of you who live in Lagos should remember. And gradually Lagos started to have power outage. And the plan is to destroy development in the south. And that is what is happening. And there are many things I'd like to reveal, but let us keep it one minute. There are so many things that is in your presence, but most of us refuse to see it. They're just in our presence. What do you look at? The corridor, the Igboho, Okeogono, Yewa, Egbado, Iseyin, onto Kiama, to Sokoto. If you look at the map of West Africa, it's almost a straight line. Baliwa said something about it in 1951. We have said that.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. I really appreciate your explanation and how things are going. With all this going on, is it a matter of your word against their word? Is it someone says, I said, or that? Will all this be real fact? Or is it a case of that person said or this person said?
Well, what I'm saying are not conjectures. They are a matter of research. I will tell you, I'm not proud to be doing this, but I have to. I have more than 100 books on this issue. Some of them are besides me here. I've opened them, including just before dawn by Motosho, who does not believe that Nigeria should separate, even though what he read implies. Because when he tried to interview him. Yeah, in that book, he also mentioned the statement of Oliver, where he said it's the presence of Nigeria, the British, that together. If you want, I can give you a list of those things you can readily look into. Or you go to the rare book section at the fourth floor of the British Library and ask for, again, some authors, some explorers like Hugh Clapperton. When Hugh Clapperton was coming to West Africa, he had to disguise like an Arab. He couldn't bear his English name so that he wouldn't be killed on the way. He was called Rais Abdullah. Most of you must have heard about Hugh Clapperton. He did not bear that name, he did not. He only bore the name in Yoruba land. And when he came to Yoruba land and Oyole, he described it in his book as a city of 15 miles square, 15 miles radius, with the Oba's palace set in the middle and the Oba Oja next to it. He saw the structure of the Yoruba race. He wrote it. And he said, these are welcoming and amiable people that can be, that we can do business with. And to the north, he said, they are devious and wicked people. They caused his death because they refused him to get his medicine. It's documented. But most of us, and that's one of the reasons why history is not learned in Nigeria anymore. Even when we were in the primary school and secondary school, we did not learn the history of West Africa. Nigeria. I learned it from my own elders, from my inquisitiveness, from visiting people and having people like Papa Ayori, the Ken Olubadan, who also was my mentor, who is the father of Abe Kutedu. So literally, he's my in-law. But the case we have now is that we should work together to get ourselves out of Nigeria. And we have to have a proper deposition. It's not something that we have to go to the law courts. It's a deposition and an acclamation that the amalgam, which the documents show that it's not proper. It should not have existed. It was not, none of our people signed for it. They only went to a meeting in Zungeru and they had some, the usual Western wine and all that. You see, the administration of the North and South, and now we are together. That was it. There was no proper administrative amalgamation. It was just a quest to find money to pay back their dues to Royal Niger Company and to South Africa.
Wow. That is deep, sir. Daddy, can I ask you one question? With all these that has been going on, what happened with our so-called elites, lawyers, professors that needs to know all these things? Were they just enjoying themselves or saying a case of when we get there, we cross the bridge?
I would say most people don't like to read after finishing their so-called PhDs, and because I have a typical friend, when he finished at the University of Ibadan, this is just the beginning of learning. Your degree is the beginning of your learning. You have to know who you are and the environment in which you live in, even though you did English. When you did English, you should start to know what are the differences of first of all, my root language from Ijebufe, my root language, my main language, my people's language. Those are important. Having a degree is the beginning of learning. Having a PhD is the beginning of learning. It is not the end. Even if you use it to do specific jobs, you still need to find out who you are. And that's what most of our people do not do. When I talk to some of them, they say, where did they get this? And I make references. At some point, there's one book I just mentioned the title. Because I had mentioned it to so many people and they were searching for it, the book I bought for £35 became £886. Administration of Nigeria on 1900 to 1960. I think the price has gone down again because you see, when you are searching for books and they find that there are many people searching for it, they up the price. Becomes a very hot commodity. The same thing with this one, the diplomacy of partition, Britain, Nigeria, and the creation of Britain, France, and the creation of Nigeria, 1800 to 1898. 8 years, Britain and France decided not to shoot each other, but to use diplomacy. 8 years they used to decide the boundaries which you see today. Our forefathers were not there to do it with them. So why will our immediate senior brothers who call themselves politicians be defending a thing they did not, their own fathers did not create? That beats my imagination. We should have been thinking about how do we get out of this mess. We are talking of independence. Go our separate ways. And in Europe, if I may want to put our minds to another level of thinking. In the last 40 years, 32 new countries emerged, and they're all in the lines of their language, culture, and ancestral origin. What is wrong with us in Africa, not only Nigeria? Look at the Congo. They have about, because I have done some research into the place, there are about 10 main nations in the Congo. They don't understand themselves if they don't speak the foreign language of which I am speaking now. Well, I'm speaking the English of the Europeans. They will be speaking the French of the Europeans there, or the Portuguese of the Europeans. Is that African language? And then we call Pan-Africanism. We believe in Pan. How can you have Pan-Africanism when you don't understand each other? If you have developed internally, then it is then you can look out. Say, everybody, they're also working hard. Then let's cooperate. That's the level where I think we should start. We should start from home. Pan-Africanism is a waste of time. That's the truth. If you don't develop our people, if you don't give them free health service and education, which I will always successfully give us from the process of agricultural products, and to the point that even the so-called civil war, which I don't call civil war, it was a program against the Igbos, because we were fighting people we did not understand. Understand me? Okoko Reserve was used because as at that time, the process from oil was blocked from us, from Nigeria. And even the development of Western region was dependent, like I said, my gentleman speaking now, his father has worked in the Western Nigeria Development Corporation, and I'm still looking for some documents from there. And because I need to add it to the wealth of the things I want to pass out to us. We developed all these things. We had agricultural settlement. We had research stations. The School of Agriculture was one of the best school of agriculture in the tropical area in the world that time. Where is it now? Where is it? No. There are too many things. Is it the Green or the Nidrike or the this thing? The Forestry Department? Is it all that I want to mention? Where are they now? They died because we became Nigeria. Ikeja Industrial Estate. Where is it now? They are closed down. All the factories have taken wings and flown away. Because from 1969, they started stop too late. It's like the rat eating you and and we kept quiet, we were dancing, you and bed. I'm sorry. That's what I've observed all my life. I'm not like Faji, but I always cry in my mind. Why are we wasting the great people, very intelligent, but looking the wrong way? We're fully blind to reality. Sorry.
Willfully blind to reality. That's a big, massive statement, Daddy. Some people are asking us to speak Yoruba. The reason we're not speaking Yoruba on this program is to make sure that everybody that needs to know gets to know this. Everybody that needs to see this gets to see this. When we speak too much Yoruba on the program, sometimes we're not helping ourselves because we might be shooting ourselves in the leg. For some reasons. Daddy, you want to say something, sir?
Yes. I want to agree at some point with those who say Kamaso Yoruba. But
Daddy,
we are still entrapped.
Daddy,
We are still entrapped in the colonial language that was left behind for us, which most of us are very proficient, but do not understand the meaning of most of the words that we speak. And that's why I believe by the time we are getting our nation back, our education should be based on Yoruba language. Our education, both technical, everything, we should translate everything. into Yoruba language. I already see examples of those, some of the things being developed by Yoruba World Edison. I am a member of that team. Developing alphabets, translating text materials into Yoruba, and putting Yoruba spellings into words that we don't have the appropriate Yoruba. That way, even the Chinese and the Japanese did. They will just write it in their own spelling so that their children will understand it. That's what we should do. But now, it's best for us to communicate both in English and Yoruba. But there are some of us, young ones, who do not understand Yoruba, who I want to hear what I'm saying. Millions of them in Europe and America. So we shall not want to cocoon ourselves. And then our brothers and sisters in Brazil, in the Caribbean and so on, who listen to us, should understand what we are saying. Because most of them are getting ready, if we are able to get out, step out to come and invest in their original homeland. See, Nigeria is not their original homeland. Those of them of Yoruba stock, and those of them of Igbo stock, they also see Nigeria as not their original homeland. This is what we should fight.
Okay, thank you very much, Daddy, for that. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are just joining us on this program today, it is question and answer with Baba Ajala, one of our forefathers in this agitation, in this struggle. I've been sitting on the feet of Baba Ajala for some time, and I've been learning a lot of things from him, either willfully or unwillfully. When the agitation first started, I proposed with Baba Ajala to start recalibrating some of our heads, because I think there's so many things wrong with us. The amalgamation is what we're going to talk about next. But before that, please, ladies and gentlemen, don't call in yet. No, yet time. It's not yet time for question and answer, because if you do that, we're going to mess the whole thing up. We're not going to get to where we're going. And all the chat online, I'm still going to come back to it in a minute. But in the meantime, let's crack on some of these pressing issues and let's get it on.
I think somebody by Aderemi Oladipo.
Oladipo, yes.
Yes. Yeah, I think he did not listen to what I said. We were warned in 1953, if we took the galley that we are going, they were not going to stop us. But when we used to go, and we are developing, there came again the big political, ideological battle between the communists and the capitalists. So those of them who had interest in Africa, like Britain, France, developed a policy called Soviet containment policy. And if I will remind some of us who are old enough then, we started seeing flyers of Soviet Union and the communist green and red books campaigning for the actualization of communism in Africa. Nigeria was heavily targeted. People like Tujo Egbeye were part of the group, and some of us started calling ourselves comrades, without knowing the meaning of comrades. I don't see anywhere, even the communist country, where all of them call themselves comrades, except when it comes to a meeting. They don't call a Boris Yeltsin comrade Boris Yeltsin. Neither Gorbachev comrade Gorbachev. It's not used.
Okay, Baba.
It's during the time of, hold on, I will beg to differ from what he said. British interest is in Nigeria is paramount. It is not. They've said again, which most of us refuse to listen to. We will work with those who control the resources. That was when, during the very tough crisis of the Niger Delta, they felt that the country was going to break. And even during the Civil War, when they felt Biafra was going to break, before the war started, they advised Ojukwu that if he gives internal independence to the Niger Delta, because there was already an agitation for the core river states, right? I happen to be an associate of the core river state movement, just by default, because I knew some of the Papa, like Papa Ekine, Orisha Ageda, Sisi Kubara, and all that. And then when it came Briggs, I happen to know them, even though I'm younger than them, because it's the quest of finding out that I started moving with everybody across. Even the Northerners, I happen to have friends in the Sultan of Sokoto's Tala. So what I'm saying can be contested, but I'm ready to defend what I've said. If there was no force that was going to remove our law, but the political mistake we made was we did not take cue. Like I said, in 1956, we were supposed to have left. They gave us the clue, but I cannot have. Then you say we are. Mr. Adrian Oladipo, take the papers of 1957 when we got the so-called self-rule. We said we are going to wait for our brothers in the north so that we can have independence together. That self-rule was supposed to be our independence. Check the Daily Times, sir. So, you see, I respect Baba Ajala, but he did not assure the political future of the Yorubas. He did so greatly. He gave me education and the wisdom for which I am exhibiting now. But for him, I wouldn't have gone to school. I respect that. So let us tell the truth. Even Churchill that saved Britain from Hitler. The first election after the war, did he win? He did it. And there are reports of all this inappropriate that are written all over the place. Why should we hide it? We learn from our mistakes so that we will not commit those mistakes in future. That's what the Yoruba race should learn. In fact, they always learn from their mistakes. It's our modern elders who expect total obedience, like an authoritarian situation, who sometimes don't want to learn from mistakes. When I was talking to later Padesanya, he became calm when I explained every detail and presented to him all the sources. Then he said, and his answer was, what I've just told you is to pass it to your co-elders. I'm not an elder in your own right, in my own right. I know this. Please pass it to others. He didn't. I sent 9 copies of my book to his library. He did not. The young men there took the books, so they did not pass anything to him. It was when I handed another 4 copies to him. We wrote a book, I think, which we call the Autonomy for our people. We published it in 1999, August 10. And that book, it was only Adoba Aero that responded to it. We distributed it to all our governors. Professor Oluano helped me to distribute it because we were members of the Nigerian Voluntary Service Association together. We built the town hall together today that is in Otaigaju, and the community center besides the danger of Akure's Palace. We built it as students. That was before youth service ever started. We tried to introduce youth service, but Mr. Kuku and Gowon bastardized our vision and they introduced this wretched Nigerian, whatever they call it now. That was not the vision. So please, I'm not saying I'm blaming Awolowo. I'm saying we missed the track at the point where we should have seized it.
Bàbá ẹ ṣe lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ nǹkan tí mo fẹ́ tó máa dùn mọ́ mi jù ni pé ẹ má jẹ́ ká ṣe ní òyìnbó ní gbọ́rọ̀gì ẹ má jẹ́ ká ṣe lóyìnbó gbọ́rọ̀gì ẹ jẹ́ ká máa mú wọnú ẹ̀ ká máa mú jáde ká máa mú wọnú ẹ̀ ká máa mú jáde ká máa mú wọnú ẹ̀ ká máa mú jáde nígbà míì a sọ òyìnbó nígbà míì a sọ Yorùbá fún àǹfààní àwọn èèyàn wa tó wà ní Benin nítorí pé wọ́n ti kọ̀wé ránṣẹ́ sí mi pé àwa tá a wà nílẹ̀ Benin o ní Benin Republic a gbọ́ òyìnbó púpọ̀ o pé ká máa sọ so àwọn lè máa pick one or the other from it. Esioba, to get the book, it's on Amazon. Most of the books are on Amazon. But please, if you don't have the intention of buying now, don't go and search for it. It's about £40. Because if you go and search for it now, you will make it expensive for those people that want to buy it now. Because as soon as you start searching for it, they raise the price. So please, if you're not going to buy it now, don't go and search for it. It's about £40, the books. So if you want to buy it, there's so many of them. I have about 2 or 3 with me. So I will put the link. I'll put the link online so that people can actually see it as well. But if and Toba Fera is on Amazon, is on okay, thank you very much. Okay, thank you. I will let Baba post it online so that people can see it. I was just saying it and my brother is just saying we're on the same page, which means I'm not sleeping behind the desk. Thank you very much. Baba, before we go on, I want to ask something. I have the more you talk, the more question I have for you. But you said to me you got about 10 hours for me today, so that's fine. So we can stay here till about 2 o'clock in the morning. A lot of people can join us, especially those people in America. It's a joke. We're not staying here for 10 hours. One question I want us to hammer on is the amalgamation. 1914 amalgamation. Baba, I want you to possibly break it down completely, like obìnrin lọ sọ́jà ó ra àtàwálé ó fẹ́ kó sínú blender ó wá kó chop sí kékèké kó ba lè easy. Can you break it to bite size for us so that a lot of people can understand it? Yes, I know a lot about it because I've been learning at your feet, like I said, for some time. But there's so many people who are among us are still talking about this 1914 amalgamation, which you preached to me that is very irrelevant to what we're saying. I know you've mentioned some few things in and out of it, like we should have dissolved it in 1950 something. Lord Lugar said you're doing business with the Northerner, you're doing so at your own peril and things like that. I know you've said it, but to make it easy, compact, so that even if you want to chop this video down later on for easy understanding, we can take it from now to when you finish the amalgamation. Let's go for it, Baba.
I will start by saying that the amalgamation was occasioned by the fact that Britain lost the Boer War and were owing £250 million. But before that loss came in 1902, Britain had been funding the administration of Northern Territory, as it was called then, before the name was finally changed to Nigeria, from funds that came from the colonial office. But in the South, MacGregor had developed the trade pattern, export and import, whereby they had surpluses. So they were not dependent on the home ground. Like some of us who are seeing the chart here, the place was actually a trading post. That's how I describe it in all my posts. It was not made to be a nation. After all, even by definition, it is not a nation. So, when this came up, the first suggestion was to jettison the North and use whatever resources they have in the South. When they jettison the North, then it means they are not going to be wasting money, transferring money to the North for administration. Of course, that administration is handled by their people and the local persons, particularly the emirs, because Lugard was not a proper administrator. He was always passing the buck. It was in the South that you had properly well-set administration, which fortunately the Western region inherited and developed and refined. So because of this, Lugard was invited back to Britain to find a way to put together the North and South. Even the North and South had gone through the ridicule of being called by different names, like Lower North and Upper, Lower and Upper Protectorate. We do our protectorate. Then Chamberlain, the secretary, then did not like that word. He had written a memo on the text that let it be Southern and Upper Nigeria. It's documented in I.F. Nicholson's book, which I think if some of you are interested can buy and testify. And it's also documented
about the book already. It's called The Administration of Nigeria from the 1900 to 1960 by I.F. Nicholson. It's on Amazon. I think they have about 6 on Amazon currently, and it's £39.30. Please don't go and look for it if you're not buying it now. You're going to make it expensive. Thank you.
So, Lugard was invited to find a solution that the colonial office is tired and the government of Britain was tired of funding the North. If you cannot find it, then you have to abandon the North and come home. But he felt that as a military officer, he does not want to fail. So he now came back to London and sat down and then wrote a paper, which is a letter patent, and submitted on May 9 to Viscount Harcourt. A letter patent. Some of you know what a letter patent. When you are inventing something, your document, your blueprint is a letter patent, which no other person can contest. And if they do that, they'll be infringing on property law. That is, I want you to start taking that property law. So, when he did that, he submitted that paper on May 9, 1930. By September, Lord Harcourt had reviewed it and then sanctioned it. Said, yeah, go and do whatever you like, as long as we are not going to be sending money to you to manage the North. But in that letter, he had fashioned out that he was going to be getting more money from the South. I said, more money. He had already been getting £250 per annum from 1906 up to 1913 from the South. So now, when he came back to northern Nigeria, he did not come to Lagos. When he came, he just come to Badagry and so on. When he came back to Nigeria, and by 1st of January, which is a Thursday, 1914, he proclaimed the amalgamation. It was really a financial convenience. It was not an amalgamation of administration. And that financial convenience brought together the financial administration of the two areas together. So that is, and there are 10 points. Some of you must have the copy of his final deposition, which is submitted at the end of 1919, which was published in 1922, and it was sold on the British government press for £1.03. So it was not a hidden document that most of us claim, because I have it in my book way back in 1999. So like some of us claim that things are hidden from us. Nothing was hidden. If you seek, you will find. That's one thing most of us don't do. So by the time it came, then there was a double held on the 2nd of January in the north, in Kano. About 30,000 horsemen came from various parts, both enemies, the Kanuri people who are enemies of the Fulani, because the Fulani had tried over the years to conquer them. If you look at the map of West African ancient empires, you find that the Songhai Empire never ever swallowed up the Borno area, and it never got to the south, our land. If you look at the map. So we were never at any time under them, except that nǹkan tí máa pè ní jìgà tó wà láàrin wa Ìlọrin. Ẹ mọ̀ bí jìgà ṣe máa ń rí tó máa ń lé síyàn lẹ́sẹ̀. Bí Ìlọrin ṣe jẹ́ láàrin ilẹ̀ Yorùbá nìyẹn. They had an enemy, all because of the betrayal of our own son. So later he invited representatives of the various areas, the north, the Yoruba, the colony of Lagos and the colony of Lagos and Yoruba land, and then the Eastern Territory, represented by the Obong of Calabar, and the Sakisho Kitoya Jasa and the Alafin Aderemi, I think the second or so. Not that good. They all came, and then the Sultan of Sokoto, and then from Ekanemi, they met in Zungeru, which was their temporary, and then he informed them that now, literally telling them that we are us, that is the white people, will be working together with the white people in the south to bring together a new country called Nigeria. It was not a signage. Our people did not sign anything. It was like a party. That was sort of a photo opportunity, like most of us do. There's some of you see the photo opportunity that was done. It's published. So that's, and the reason behind that amalgamation, if I can quickly get my book, I can read number 5 item. Oh, it's not yet. Oh God. It's on my bed. Oh, I love the bed. Sorry. The reason behind it actually is to solve the financial problem. And it's also published in this man, Trevor Clark's book, The Story of Nigeria, and then Campbell's book, The Story of Nigeria. They are published there. They are there. Most of them in my library inside my bedroom. There. And I don't know if okay. I'm sorry, I'm filled up with all these things because I want to be factual. If you are in doubt, check my statements to find them. And my submission about a great leader, Awolowo, is not wrong. Because, and I've tested this with some of our elders, and I explained myself, and they agreed with me. I have a great love for him. So, all those who think I'm blaming Awolowo, I'm not. I'm only saying that we missed the road at some point, and which he was not aware. He was a humanist. He wanted to bring people together. But the question was that, did he ask himself, who are these people I'm bringing together? That's exactly what my grandfather said in the 50s when I was in the primary school. If he, who did not attend Western education, who took ìwé ìbílẹ̀, ìwé tó lódùmarè àti ọgbọ́n tó lódùmarè fún wa, tó lè rí i pé a kì í ṣe kan náà. pé kò yẹ ká wà pẹ̀lú àwọn Igbo tàbí kíní ká dá wà ká máa ṣe nǹkan wa lọ. That time there was already free health and free education. They saw this. Why do you want to spend it to a people who don't want it? As at that time, the percentage of educated people in the north was less than 5 who understood English language. Báwo ni wọ́n ṣe rò bí ìgbà tó lọ campaign lọ́hùn ìbí wọ́n máa ń wá translator ni. So the moment your mind should tell you, the moment you are looking for a translator to talk to people you claim to be yours, that means they are not. That you are talking to a foreign country completely. The same thing, the statement, I'm expanding on the amalgamation. It should not have happened because, again, the writers of the document, when they were debating when it has been signed and they gave the paper to Lugard to go and execute, so that it's not really administrative amalgamation. It was financial. Ó dẹ̀ sí tó nǹkan ẹ̀. Adẹ́dìdì àgbé àsíá wá Nàìjíríà. How does that work? Èdè wo la fi sọ? Èdè èbó. Kí máa ṣe Yorùbá la fi lọ campaign ní Zaria tàbí Kaduna. Ṣé máa fi èdè Yorùbá campaign ní Zaria àti Kaduna? Ṣé máa gbọ́? Èdè ẹni tí ó kó wá pọ̀ fún trade láti san gbèsè ara ẹ̀ la fi ń sọ̀rọ̀. Àtúbẹ̀ sí ń kọ àwọn ìwé à ń pè ní Nigerian democracy, Nigerian clinic. Tá a bá wo àwọn ìṣẹ̀dálẹ̀ wa bí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ṣe ìjọba wọn ní ọba àti àwọn ìjòyè in some places àní àwọn balógun, àwọn baálẹ̀ àti àwọn olórí agboolé. It's a structured pattern which you can develop, and it was democratic. Some documents from the time of Queen Elizabeth I, who came to Ibadan, a white man, came back to report that the administration of that race is better than what was happening in Britain. That they were free to express their minds, to change their society, to evolve and grow. That was what happened with Awolowo in Western region. But he was so magnanimous that he wanted to spread this thing to. It was, he should have said that he was going to a foreign country. A French president coming to Britain. They translate their food. You see, he did not see that imagery. Even the same thing with Baba Ajala. They did not see it. And I don't know why. Ṣé wọn ò fẹ́ràn ara wọn, wọn ò fẹ́ràn ibi tí wọ́n ti jáde, wọn ò fẹ́ràn orísun wọn ni orísun wa, orísun ilẹ̀ Yorùbá tí gbogbo àgbáyé ń kọ́ bá a ṣe jẹ́. Ẹ lọ Google ẹ̀ yorubaorganization.com. Ẹ lọ Google ẹ̀ kẹ́rí gbogbo àwọn ìlú tó ń kọ́ nípa ìṣẹ̀dálẹ̀ Yorùbá àti ẹ̀sìn wa. Organization tó pè é Z lè máa fi spell ẹ̀ yorubaorganization.com. You find it. It's very interesting.
But they were based in Ukraine. They're not even based in Nigeria. They were based in Ukraine.
And the Israeli, no wonder the Israelis were ready to come and help us. Like solar bonus. Some of you know that. Even though the Northerners never wanted it. And I remember growing up to hear Balewa say, where is Israel? It does not apply in the globe. It's not nowhere. It does not exist. That's Ahmadu Bello and Balewa saying that. But these people came and taught us how to. They started making rules and they taught our people, the Tawbade, the Oniason, the Haboni, they all grew up from learning from Solabone. And the growth in Western region was good. So coming back, if we know this, the amalgamation was merely a financial arrangement to pay off the debts of the North. It was not. It is also now forced the British administration, both North and South, to start to look for an administrative instrument to govern us. And that was what, if you all remember again, there were several constitutions, attempted constitution, the Clifford Constitution, the Machendise Constitution, and all other constitutions, trying to find a way to bring this disparate, incongruous, bloodletting people together. But ní tiwa a máa parọ́ fúnra wa pé we are united. Meanwhile, ló ń pa àwọn èèyàn wa. I grew up to meet an uncle tó Sopa, all because he asked for promotion in the north. So this thing has been happening from a long time. I grew up to, and I'm 74. So then you must reel back the clock and say maybe that should have been in the late 40s. No, kí ni ẹ̀ṣẹ̀lẹ̀ sí uncle mi. Iṣẹ́ òun nìkan. And some men are in London here who each time they hear about the north to cry in their mind. One man whose family was murdered. A family of 7 plus 2 wives, a staunch Muslim in Kano. They were all killed, and he was only left, and he was told to go back to his country. But she man suffer but we refuse to listen with full blindness and deafness. I know ye by not man so. That amendment in 2000 had also said, let us divide and see who is going to suffer. We just don't want to listen. But Baba Ajala ló sọ, it's not a nationalist, it's not this thing. Mo jẹ̀bi, mo ń sòótọ́. I can read, even the El-Rufai had also then said some years back, before the election of Buhari, that Nigeria may break. Did anybody challenge him, the pressmen or the Falanos, who are so much in love with pseudo-truths?
Wow.
You all of you are listening to me. Please give me something to hold. Am I lying to you? Please.
No, you're not lying to us, sir. We know that you're not lying to us. Okay, thank you very much, Baba. I really appreciate that. I'm going to bring it into some painstaking questions. One of those questions is, the coup in Nigeria has always been orchestrated by foreign powers. What are they trying to do? Is it because of our resources? Is it because of what we have? Is it to keep us enslaved?
See, I'm laughing.
Yeah, I know why you're laughing. But I asked the somebody sent me the question.
Unfortunately, I lived through all those. The first coup was occasioned by the fact that there was already another coup that was being sponsored by our own people against our own people in the West to eliminate all those who are opposed to Akitola. That's the fact. Cannot be denied. Can stand up anywhere to say it. But meanwhile, the first coup, the young men were Marxists. They felt the political vision of Awolowo, which was democratic socialism, was Marxism. They were wrong. Awolowo just used the wrong term. What he was developing in Western region was democratic welfareism, which is the same thing as here. Is it somebody who has put in place free health and free education, agricultural development, roads development, housing, and the possibility of local humanity dukia tier? Is that word? It was not collective word. And it is based on bí a ṣe ń ṣe ní ilé tẹ́pẹ́ nílùú kan tí ẹnìkan bá ní oko ètò ìgbà tí ò sí machinery, àwọn ará àdúgbò ibi tí oko ẹ̀ wà gbogbo ọ̀nà máa jọ lọ ṣe gbára oko, a bá gbé gbogbo ẹ̀. òun náà tún tẹ̀lé àwọn yòókù lọ sí oko tiẹ̀. That's a welfare system, perfect one that the Yorubas have developed. Títí kan kíní kíní that was what Awolowo was developing. And the process, some of our so-called intellectuals started feeling that Awolowo was bringing communism into Nigeria. It wasn't. It was impossible. Even, I'm sorry to say, during the 1979 election, I was in Ibadan. A lot of people were going to sign out their names, their name in various houses to other people. That was never in the plan of the UPN. I know some of you had this.
Yeah.
But in Ibadan, a lot of people lost their houses to those they wrote their deeds with all of their foolishness. Tó wọ́n kàwé or wọ́n kàwé wọn kàwé.
Wọ́n kàwé wọn kánú.
So I'm saying that first coup was led by these young men on their own. They felt that they could change the course of history by sacking the central government and bringing Awolowo out of prison to come and rule. All they were interested in is that Awolowo should introduce the kind of leadership he had in the West to the rest of Nigeria, which by election the rest of Nigeria had rejected also. Unfortunately, I would say those young men were foolish. It was not foreign back. It was an internal movement. If you go through the archives, even though when the foreigners found out, well, there was nothing they would do. Let it play out. That's what happens. And now we came to the stage of the yo-yo coup and no coup organized by the feudal oligarchy. It was not foreign back. It was trying to sustain and retain the dream of 1807 for the North to control Nigeria. That's the truth. Even though the foreigners always know by their own satellite tracking and all that, which was already there, about events and messages going around. Even Balewa was warned that there was going to be a coup. But because he had planned his own coup with Akintola, he just ignored that fact. That coup that happened that killed him, he knew about it. I tell you that fact. He was warned because there were signals sent to him. So those foreigners you are talking about that they foreign back, it's not. We always want to ascribe what we cannot interpret to a foreigner. I will not say, whereas it's right down in your backyard that it happens. Those are the facts. So if the foreigners planned it, then the coup of 1966, January 15, should not have happened because they knew it was going to happen. And they told the head of state that they told him people are not happy. And again, the so-called coup of Awolowo, whereby it was triggered by the fact that they were envious of the development of Western region. Western region was too far ahead of the other three regions. If you were alive then, if you travel crossing up to the north, and particularly Jeba, you say, where am I? Or crossing River Niger by the Potu, because there was no bridge. So, apart from Onitsha with the Fege market, you'll be wondering, yet you are still in Nigeria. Because the West was different, was vibrant, was developing. There are good roads, water supply, into the homes. And you see what I was like. It's not a kitchen, but it's taps. What have we got now? We got independence and everything died. That's a result of not listening to ourselves. The amalgamation itself was a farce because the people who did it, they also said Even Lugard said it was a temporary issue. He did not expect it to last as much. But when our people started talking about nationalism, they just sat back. Well, wọ́n ti gbà kan mọ́ wa lọ́wọ́ o. Ìlú tá a rò bí kò ní last. Wọ́n ti ń pariwo national nation. Wọ́n ti ń ṣe campaign káàkiri o. Gbà iná tí wọ́n bẹ̀ sí máa ń sọ pé òkè. Nígbà tó máa ń ṣe lè ẹjẹ́ wá kí ni bó ṣe máa ṣe ìlú. I mean the administration nípa bí constitution tó máa lò. Ètò wọn náà máa fi ṣèlú. Ẹjẹ́ àwa kan fún wọn. Èyí tí lè máa bọ́ sí tàbí bí kàlòkàlò wọ́n fi ọ̀rọ̀ wá ṣe. Of course, after that time, they owned the place until 1960. They owned the place. It was a trading post. And they had to protect their trading post. Because even though they invested in it, what which they finally paid off in 1999.
Wow. That was deep. Baba Ajala has managed to go deeper and deeper for us on this one. I'm sure everybody is enjoying this one. It takes me to my next question. Who are our enemies? The Northerners? Our allies? Ourselves? Who are our enemies? Ta ló sọ wá di báyìí gangan, ta ló mess wa up? Ṣé àìmálè sọ̀rọ̀ sókè ni o? Àbí ìmọ̀tara ẹni nìkan ni o? Àbí àìbìkítà? Ṣé nǹkan tó sọ wá báyìí ni?
I'm sorry, our enemies are within. And I always pray for them that kí ojú wọn là, torí mo ti sọ fún ìyàwó kan náà àwọn captain of religion way back ọdún ni mo bá ìyá yẹn sọ̀rọ̀ 1999 náà ni mo sọ fún wọn pé àwa nú òkùnkùn à ń pè ní ìmọ́lẹ̀ àròbá wà nú ìmọ́lẹ̀ torí à ń ṣìnà ìlú tá a wà kì í ṣèlú wa Ọlọ́run Olódùmarè ò fọwọ́ sí i àwa táwa ń bẹ̀ láti tiraka tá à ń gbé gbogbo ẹ̀ tá à ń kọrin ìgbà míì tí bá gbọ́ orin bóyá kí ní òkè ẹ̀sọ́ pé Ọlọ́run á bá tún Nàìjíríà ṣe ni máa ń ké sínú báwo lọ́lọ́run ṣe fẹ́ tó Ọlọ́run ló dá ẹlẹ́yàmẹ̀yà ló fún wa lédè ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ èyí kọrin ẹni Ọlọ́run bá tún Nàìjíríà ṣe nígbà gbọ́ ìtumọ̀ ẹ̀ tàbí Hausa. That's the question we should always ask ourselves. And and all those songs. See, we by default our own enemies for not thinking. Torí àgbà tí Ọlọ́run Olódùmarè tó dá wa lẹ̀ abẹ̀sí ní tẹ̀lé àwọn ìmọ̀ tí ò yẹ kí ó gba gbogbo àsìkò wa. Mi ò ní ká má tẹ̀lé àwọn ìmọ̀ yòókù ó tó yẹ ká fàsìkò lẹ̀ ká béèrè lọ́wọ́ ara wa pé báwo la ṣe jẹ́ o àgbẹ̀. But late Báwọn Ọ̀sányà, I spoke to him on this from Ìjẹ̀bú. Ọlọ́run tètè kí wọ́n lọ tó lọ́wọ́ á promise pé wọ́n máa wá bá mi ká jókòó ká sọ̀rọ̀ ìgbà yẹn ń sọ fún mi pé a máa compromise ní pé Nàìjíríà máa dáa how will Nàìjíríà dáa nígbà tẹ pé à ń ṣe kan náà àwọn ní àdúgbò ní àpótí wọn náà sọ táwọn Ìgbò tó wà láàrin wa tán bá nígbà Kérésìmesì tàbí àjíǹde wọ́n kó ẹrù wọn lá we are going to our country across the Niger. They use the word country. Are we the same? Yet we say we are Nigerians. We are not. We are not. I'm sorry. It's sad that we are not thinking. And secondly, we are surrounded by enemies, yet we are not thinking of ourselves. But like the Greek city-states, tí gbogbo ẹ̀ bá dàrú tán ẹ máa gbogbo wa la máa jọ ṣe pọ̀ gbogbo ẹ̀ bá dàrú tán. Will you excuse me? I have to.
Hello, sir. I'm muting you for a second so you can answer your phone quickly. While we're waiting for Baba to come back, I'm sure you must have been enjoying this presentation from Daddy in a fantabulous way, because we actually book about 2 hours for this, but we spent nearly 2 hours already. And tí open line kábọ̀ torí tí àwọn èèyàn máa béèrè question lọ́wọ́ wa. Bàbá tẹ́ bá ti ready láti padà wá ẹ ní láti unmute ara yín o, because you are currently muted. Okay, so while we're waiting for Baba to come back, I'm gonna go through some of these messages in the chat if it's necessary. But I think okay, I'm sorry for that. I hope you can hear me clearly now, because I heard that you cannot hear me clearly before. I'm just saying that for now. God of mercy. That was very, 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 very deep. That was very deep. My next question for Baba will be that why are we still paying the British government? If we're still paying them, why are we still paying them any proceed from our port? Is that true or false? Because that is something that someone has just sent me. But I'm going to leave that with Baba when it comes back. It's Babangida that took the capital to the north, not worry. Okay, we need Baba like this to unfold what we're ignorant of. Yes. When we started the agitation, Baba was one of the people that's supposed to take us on so many, how will I say it? So many eyes openers. Baba's supposed to open our eyes on so many things about this, but for one reason or the other, one thing leads to the other, and Yoruba ignorance messed things up for us. We are not taking calls yet. Uncle, I hope you're not calling into the show, sir, because we're not ready to take calls yet. You're not. Show ni abi.
Sorry, I'm back now.
Okay. Let me okay, let's finish. I'm on a show currently, so I'll send you the show as well, and then we talk. Baba is back with us. Baba, I want to thank you, and every one of your children here are thanking you for what you are teaching us today. It's been long due. From April last year, we're supposed to start this. It takes us a whole year to do this.
Well, it's good. It's good that we finally. There's a continue tí mò ń gbàdúrà ni pé kọ́lọ́run má jẹ́ kí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá dúró sí ìlú yẹn títí di 2023 o. Àdúrà tèmi ń gbà nìyẹn. Tó ká tètè ṣètò ẹ̀. Láti ṣètò ẹ̀, ara ìtàn àti bá ṣe máa gbé ọ̀rọ̀ kalẹ̀, bá ṣe máa present ẹ̀. It's not about a legal decision. Ẹ wo gbogbo àwọn 40 countries kò sí tó lọ sí court o. Torí mo ti gbọ́ pé àwọn ọ̀mọ̀wé wa kan àwọn legal luminaries tí ẹ̀kan ti wádìí gbogbo ìlú yẹn ṣe bẹ̀rẹ̀. Ìtàn tó ń sọ ni pé bóyá wọ́n fẹ́ gbé ẹnìkan tàbí méjì lọ sí court. It's going to stretch it for the next 10 years. That's a waste of time, and I don't have the luxury of that time for my race to be free. And we have the wherewithal to make it free. Ọ̀rọ̀ tọ́lọ́run fún wa la máa fi gbàrà lẹ̀, a dẹ̀ máa tún múra sílẹ̀ láti defend gbogbo territory wa. Àgbà Ọlọ́run Lódùmarè, ọ̀rọ̀ ló máa gbà wá lẹ̀.
Wow. Let's open the line now. Let's open the line now so that people can ask questions. Please, when you ask your question, Don't make it complicated. Make it straightforward question, so that Baba, it will be easy for Baba to answer it. Not that one. I want to make sure it's only one. It won't be on WhatsApp. I don't want the calls, the question time to be on WhatsApp. I want it to be on proper call so that it will be easy for me to manage. Because if it's on WhatsApp, it will be a matter of gambling. So let's go for it. The number to call is on the screen now. If you call any other number, you won't get through. The number to call for that is on the screen now. If you call any other number, you're not going to get through. Thank you very much. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Orúkọ yín àti ibi tẹ́ ti ń gbé ẹ̀pọ́n sókè ti wà lórí ètò sà. Ẹ yí ìtẹ́ gbọ́ sílẹ̀ lẹ́yìn sà. Tẹ́ bá ti pè anybody tẹ́ bá ti pè ẹjọ́ tọrọ Ọlọ́run ẹ̀yin ẹ̀gbọ́n mi ẹ̀yin bọ̀dá mi ẹ̀yin àti mi. Ẹ ṣé sà. Pápápá sà ẹ bá ṣe pápápá sà.
Fún kí bàbá fún àṣeyàn àti iṣẹ́ kan ti ṣe látẹ̀yìnwá àti ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ tán fún wa ní ọjọ́ èyí. Ọ̀dọ́ ní pé ní ọjọ́ iwájú bóyá bàbá sì lè bá wa wá àyè kan wá fún wa ní ẹ̀tàn bí colonization àti slavery ṣe wọ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá àti Nàìjíríà ọjọ́ iwájú.
Okay. Mi mọ̀ bóyá bàbá ló máa fún wa níyẹn nítorí pé I have bàbá wa ewé jẹ́ wọ́n ń bọ̀ lọ́la ní àti bí aago 4 náà máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ yẹn nítorí pé wọ́n ní ohun tí ò bá ti sí nínú Ifá wọ́n ní kò sóòótọ́ ń bẹ̀ Baba Ajala ṣé tòótọ́ ni.
Òótọ́ ni o tí ò bá sí òótọ́ ni ara ẹ̀ ní àwọn ìbò ṣe ń kọ́ Ifá wa o torí wọ́n mọ̀ pé òótọ́ ló wà nú ẹ̀ àwa là ń sá fún Ifá.
Question tí mo wá fẹ́ béèrè lọ́wọ́ bàbá lẹ́yìn ni pé àwa náà jáde díẹ̀ a rí ìlú ní orílẹ̀-èdè ní ìbọn ṣe ń ṣe ètò wọn. Mo lè wá rí pé ní nǹkan tí bàbá pa fún wa lẹ́yìn ní maintenance of strategy òun ni derailment fi ṣẹlẹ̀ from bí philosophy bàbá Awólọ́wọ̀ àti eléyìí táwọn build on àti eléyìí táwọn build on wípé lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ ń sìn. Ìbá ní pé kí bàbá bá fi àyè lẹ̀ díẹ̀ wọ́n bá wa kó àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá mọ́ra ká lè ní ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ lérí philosophy àwọn bàbá ńlá wa kó jẹ́ pé ó mú ìlànà tó dáa. Bí èmi ṣe wà yìí mo rẹ́dà ti kọ̀nà sí ara. Ṣùgbọ́n mi ò mọ requirement bóyá ẹni tó bá súnmọ́ bàbá nìkan ló lè kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ lára bàbá ni. Àbí ìwé wọn nìkan tá a bá rà nìkan ní ká máa kà ní. Ṣùgbọ́n kò lè ṣe iṣẹ́ tá a bá tẹ̀ ń ka ìwé tá à ń rà. Ṣùgbọ́n wọ́n bá ní bí ìlànà fún àwọn set of group or youth àwọn ẹni máa prepare gbogbo agenda yẹn to the function. Ṣé bá wo bí àwọn bí ìlú tẹ wà ń sùn bí ìlú kékeré ràn philosophy ti máa wà for years àwọn èèyàn bẹ́ẹ̀ sì máa rán ẹ lọ. The same thing in US it happens in many countries even in Russia in Ukraine all over like that. So philosophy tí àwọn baba ńlá wa ti sílẹ̀ dìrẹ́mẹ̀ ti wà ń bẹ. Bọ̀tẹ̀ tí a bá ní àwọn ojúgbẹ̀yàn tí bàbá bá wà lè gbà tó ṣe ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ lábẹ́ wọn. Táwọn náà bẹ̀ rẹ́dí àti fi ìlànà ẹsẹ̀ tó fi tọ̀ lé wọn lọ́wọ́. Àwọn yẹn ló máa gbé ìrìn àjò yẹn lọ. Àwọn yẹn dẹ̀ máa hand over fún àwọn tó ń bọ̀ ní. Ó máa ní bí a kind of bí àríyàn tó máa ti wà pé ìwọ tó bá wà fún ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ yìí àbí tó bá yẹ pé à ń fẹsẹ̀ ń fo ìrìnàjò yìí o àbẹ́ àwọn ẹníṣẹ́ yìí o ọjọ́ iwájú nǹkan báyìí la fẹ́ kó ṣẹlẹ̀ láti níbi written strategy tí màá ní pé kéjẹ́ ká gbé wọnú ọ̀rọ̀ yìí èmi bẹ̀rẹ̀ rẹ́dí àti volunteer ara mi tí ó bá yẹ pé irú opportunity yìí lọ́lẹ̀ because so many things láti miss ìgbàgbọ́ wa àti miss culture wa àti miss so many things.
ẹ jẹ́ kí n dá indro mẹ́yẹn sà nítorí question yẹn gùn tí n bá dá indro mẹ́yẹn ó máa gùn jù. Mi ní jẹ́ kí bàbá fèsì sí yẹn nítorí ìdí kan tàbí ìkejì màá bá wọn fèsì sí nítorí pé mo fẹ́ rope bàbá into something special today. There is a school it's called Yoruba Center for Traditional Studies. It's been developed as we speak. We have its campus somewhere in Ota. Kò ní jẹ́ àwọn tó wà ní orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà ní ìsìn nìkan ló máa wà ń bẹ̀.
jọ nàìjíríà ṣe orílẹ̀-èdè.
ok mo ti gbọ́ sà nílẹ̀
nàìjíríà.
nílẹ̀ Oòduà ló máa wà. ìdí tó ṣe fẹ́ wà wọ́n ní pé kó wà nífẹ̀ẹ́ èmi mo sọ pé kó má jẹ́ kó wà nífẹ̀ẹ́ nítorí pé tó bá wà nífẹ̀ẹ́ to travel láti Èkó lọ sífẹ̀ẹ́ ó máa take time because there will be a lot of student exchange tó máa wà ńbẹ̀ àdẹ̀fẹ́ kí wọ́n máa rìn káàkiri kó tó di pé wọ́n débi tí wọ́n ń lọ we want it to be àfẹ́ kó dàbí ìgbà tó yẹ pé refinery wà ní Maiduguri ibi tó ti ń wọ epo wà ní Port Harcourt wọ́n wá ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ pipe epo yẹn stupidness lọ sí Maiduguri láti lọ refine ẹ̀ ibi tí raw materials bá wà wọ́n máa ń set up industry yẹn sí so that is why we agreed to put it in Lagos is Yoruba Center for Traditional Studies ni wọ́n pè so these people will make sure that Yoruba language they've been working on it already so they will make sure that the thing gets to the top of the chain so Yoruba ni ó máa jẹ́ number 1 Yoruba kò kì í ṣe ẹ̀sìn kò kì í ṣe.
eléyìí tó máa link pẹ̀lú leadership in Yoruba land because tó bá link pẹ̀lú leadership tó yẹ pé àwọn èèyàn kan wá fún ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ fún tara wọn àbí fún personal for purpose but to be on the leadership.
ẹ jẹ́ kí n dáhùn yẹn.
ẹ jẹ́ kí bàbá náà máa dáhùn yẹn bàbá máa dáhùn yẹn fún yín sà.
kẹ́rí ìmọ̀ ló máa ń jẹ́ kí ẹ tó máa ṣe aṣíwájú kó yọ tó bá ti bẹ̀ sí péjọ síbẹ̀ àfẹ́ ní pé we are training for leadership we are training for knowledge bí Ọlọ́run Lódùmarè ṣe fún wa nìyẹn. And out of that knowledge Ọlọ́run Lódùmarè ti wá fi sí olúkálukú ní àwọn ìmọ̀ kan tẹ́ bá rí àwọn ìdílé Ifá wọn kọ́lẹ̀ ẹ máa mọ bí tí ìdílé Ifá wà torí Ọlọ́run Lódùmarè ti fi sí wọn lọ́pọlọ láti ìṣẹ̀dálẹ̀ wọ́n ń gbé ní àwọn tó súnmọ́ ìdílé Ifá wà àwọn tó ń dẹ̀ súnmọ́ ìdílé Ifá mi ò kí ń pẹ́ anybody lọ́gbẹ̀rẹ̀ kò sẹ́ni tó ń jọ́gbẹ̀rẹ̀ wọ́n ní ipò táwọn náà máa ń mú ní ìṣẹ̀dálẹ̀ Yorùbá. So tí wọ́n bá ní irú sẹ́ńtà yẹn táwọn èèyàn bá ti bẹ̀ sí ń kọ ibẹ̀ ni aṣíwájú ti máa yọ àwọn ìmọ̀ ló máa di ẹni tí ó máa jẹ́ oníṣáájú láìsí ìmọ̀ kò lè sí oníṣáájú o nǹkan tá a ti gbàgbé láti bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní ẹ̀ta tá a kàn máa pe ẹnìkan ní aṣíwájú láì mọ̀ aṣíwájú ìmọ̀ olúmọ̀ nípa ti ilẹ̀ Yorùbá sọ́rí ọ̀rẹ́ mi gan náà ni mo bá wí former governor of Lagos State ó máa gbọ́ èmi ti sọ fún ọ̀rẹ́ mi ni.
Thank you very much sir.
Ọlọ́run kó là wọ́n lóye lórí ibi tí wọ́n dúró sí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá náà ìwà o.
Thank you bàbá lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí adúpẹ́ pọ̀ lọ́wọ́ yín fún ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ yìí fún àǹfààní àwọn tí ó wà ní American Hemisphere mo rò pé mo gbà nígbàdẹ́gbà ẹ̀fọ́ríjì mi.
yẹ òótọ́ ni hemisphere ẹ lè fi èdè Yorùbá pé hemisphere hemisphere náà ní jẹ́.
nítorí pé lánàá pàápàá ni bàbá ìjìnlẹ̀ kọ́ mi pé orúkọ kò ṣeé yí kúrò ní èdè yẹn Adé ní Yorùbá náà ní Adé orúkọ mi Adé Thomas náà ní Adé Thomas náà nílé èbó wọ́n wá lè make it easy láti ṣe kọ́lẹ̀ ní èdè èbó ní writing style ẹ̀ but pronunciation ẹ̀ will always be nearly the same. mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ọmọọba Gbádégbìtẹ́ tí wọ́n kọ́ mi ní ìlànà ó rẹ̀ pé àwọn náà wà lórí ètò ìpapà tó rẹ̀ pé mo ti rí wọn tẹ́tẹ̀rẹ̀ máa fún àwọn tó wà lórí Zoom ní àǹfààní láti béèrè ìbéèrè ẹni tó kọ́kọ́ náwó sókè tí mo rò pé àwọn ló kọ́kọ́ náwó sókè bóyá mo wá gbà bóyá mo wá ṣe o mi lè sọ Fẹ́mi Galaxy ní orúkọ wọn ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ bá wa unmute ẹ béèrè ìbéèrè yín ẹ má jẹ́ kó gùn jù púpọ̀ ẹ má fagún o bàbá ó yá.
ẹ̀ka fún dádì wa o ọlọ́run jẹ́ kẹ́ pẹ́ fún wa o.
ẹ ṣeun ẹ ṣe.
ẹ bá mọ how happy I am here. ọlọ́dẹ̀kẹ́ pẹ́ fún ọlọ́run máa fún yín ní mọ̀ sí o ọlọ́run adó tì yín o
Ọlọ́run Olódùmarè.
mo kàn bẹ̀yìn pé kẹjọ kẹ dúró pé ẹ dúró ti wà nípa ìjà tá à ń jà á jà fúnra wa o yóò á jà fúnra wa tá à ń jà fáwọn ọmọ wa
Àtàwọn ọmọ.
ìjà wa ó wà táwọn ọmọ àti ìrandíran wa because ó ti wá di pé wọ́n ti wá program wa into slavery nísìn ọwọ́ àti Deuteronomy chapter 28 the second slavery how long are we going to be inside captivity? Well now we got the good, we got everything. Why? Why come bandits wa come and find it over there because of the resources? You have taken our resources with us. Even blink. Now you are not killing us. Why? And you are not using us as slaves in abroad for the second time. How long are we going to be in captivity? We need to get out of it by any means necessary. Legally, but by any means necessary, because this is what I heard the voice of Oduduwa. Only we have to stand as one, and we have to face the bully. We have to stand up to the bullies and make sure we get our people out of it. Oduduwa gbé wa o, bàbá wa ẹgbẹ́ fún wa o, ojú yìí ló máa ṣe o. Àdéhùndúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ bàbá wa Pọfẹ́sọ̀ Bánjí Akíntóyè, bàbá pẹ́ fún ọlọ́wọ́ dẹ̀ máa fún ọ níbi tó wà lọ́dọ̀
Bàbá tèmi náà nìyẹn.
àti chief wa o, bàbá wa ní ti Sunday Adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho ṣá wọlọ́run alámàlọ́ra ẹ̀mí bàbá o ọlọ́run wà pẹ̀lú àti fámílì ẹ̀ àti Koiki Media ọlọ́run àti any other person àtẹnilógo àpò Máyégún all of them that don't even mention ẹjọ gbogbo inú mo rántí àjọ àtúkẹ́jà ni o àwọn ọmọdé wa tún gbà níyànjú pé àwọn ọmọ Odùduwà àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá àwọn ọkọ̀ kéékèèké kọ́ ló máa dá sí gbogbo wa láwa ìbọn gbogbo wa láwa nínú ẹ̀ o. Ẹ̀gbọ́n tí o bá ní owó 10 bs send díẹ̀ kí wọ́n print ẹ̀ kí wọ́n lọ lẹ̀ ládùúgbò ẹ̀. Ìwọ́n tó bá ní owó ní 100 bills contribute send it so that we can move this beautiful message forward. Ẹ ṣé gan sir.
Ẹ ṣé. Màá bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti ìtẹ̀sán gbẹ̀yìn. Kẹ́rí nípa ti owó dídá ètò ti wà. Ó máa tó jáde àpò kan la máa ní àwọn tó máa manage ẹ̀ committee ni tó máa sign ọ̀nà mẹ́ta náà máa fi sí àwọn selector àwọn trustee àti àwọn managers so that tó bá ní ojú àwọn olówó wa ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ mo mọ̀ wọ́n ti ń dúró láti gbọ́ pé àti dákínì ẹ̀lẹ̀ wọ́n á rí ibi máa fowó sí láì pariwo àfẹ́ káwọn pariwo nípa owó tán bá dá bí ti ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ló ṣeé ṣe láti gbára wọn lọ pẹ̀lú nínú wàhálà tán bá wà particularly example ní ti àwọn Australia wọ́n ní fún ọ̀pọ̀ tán ti dálẹ̀ láti 1900 ìyẹn fún ìjẹ́ is going to trillions anytime tán bá ń ṣe new innovation àti ìkíní government Israel now will write and give a reason why we need the money owó yẹn jáde wọn ní lọ sí World Bank tàbí IMF láti lọ gbowó kí ni World Bank àti IMF ti Africa ń lọ I need láti lọ síbẹ̀ a lè wá owó láti tún ìlú wa ṣe China tẹ̀rí sí 40 years ago kọ̀kẹ́ náà ń gùn bẹ́ẹ̀ ìgbà yẹn àwọn èèyàn wa ti ń gun Oldsmobile Buick Rolls Royce bolawa ń sìn China is on jet plane wọ́n ti send the rocket sí moon wọ́n ti land sí moon bolawa nǹkan tí Western region bá ti dà ní ẹ or Yorùbá land kálá ti kúrò 1953 láti sọ pé à ń lọ because we are given a clean plate to discuss where we want to belong. Èmi sọ fún iná ẹyọ ẹ̀ta ń tiẹ̀ sọ pé God will punish anybody tó máa sọ wá di free trade area. And it's from ibi tí epo ti ń jáde ìlú wọn ló dẹ̀ ń jìyà jù. Àwọn kan wá jókòó láti òkè Lárúbáwá wọ́n wá ra gbogbo ilẹ̀ epo 83% of oil blocks in the south belongs to them. Map kan wà bí if I don't know if you can see it.
Baba,
Ní 1999.
I can't even see you.
Okay. Actually missing.
Your screen is dark. I hope something is not covering your camera.
Oh God. Hello, ẹ̀jẹ̀ ń gbọ́ mi.
I'm going, sir.
What's going on? Oh my God, what's going on?
It doesn't matter, Daddy. It doesn't matter.
I wanted to show one map, 1998.
Okay, maybe you're trying to share your screen.
Wọ́n ti gé wa kúrò Nàìjíríà ní 1998. Mo dẹ̀ fi wọn gbogbo àwọn lọ́lá wa tí wọ́n mọ̀.
What you can do for us, Daddy, restart the system in so Kali risk because we really want to see what
because it is very important. And then the fact that Nigeria has been dissolved in 2018. Awala Kobiarasi, the map soon starts to calculate it.
Come out, Kerry, join. While you're doing that, I will be asking Mamawa. Hold on. No, I think you can work before Mamawa. Mr. Oladele Egbonsoke, ẹ ti wà lórí ìkànnì pẹ̀lú bàbá. Nípa pàpà ni kẹ́ ṣe ṣá o. Hello, bàbá tó pè láti Germany.
So, ìbéèrè mi mo fẹ́ béèrè mi mọ̀ pé àwọn dájú lè bá mi àṣà ẹ̀ torí pé wọ́n ní èèyàn tí ó bá mọ ibi tó ti ń bọ̀ kò ní mọ ibi tó yẹ kó máa lọ. Tó lè jẹ́ nísìnyí tá à ń jà fún ìjàgbára ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Èmi lérò pé ó ṣe pàtàkì fún àwa ọ̀dọ́ tó jẹ́ pé a ṣì wà below 40 àmọ́ nípa history Yorùbá. Because ó ní a lot of teachings tó jẹ́ pé àwọn ẹlẹ́sìn gbèdé lóde nípa orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá, ìran tí Yorùbá ti ṣàn wá. Ìbéèrè mi wá ǹjẹ́ ṣé kò sí nǹkan bíi anthropological and empirical investigations tó ti wà ńlẹ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ tó jẹ́ pé oríṣiríṣi àwọn teaching ló kàn jáde nísìnyí nípa orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá. Àwọn kan ní Sudan Yorùbá ti wá ó tilẹ̀ jẹ́ pé àwọn àkọ́kọ́ ti ní ìṣùgbọ́n oríṣiríṣi àwọn teaching tó wá láti oríṣiríṣi agbègbè yìí ó jẹ́ kí àwọn ọ̀dọ́ wa kó wà nílé ṣé kò sí any central information ó àwọn bàbá kan tó wà tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n lè máa ṣọ́ọ̀tì irú àwọn tó ń gbé oríṣiríṣi ẹ̀kọ́ òdì jáde especially ní àsìkò yìí.
Ẹ ṣé bàbá wa, ẹ jẹ́ kí n sáré bá yín dáhùn yẹn nítorí pé ó dàbí pé mi gan mọ̀ nípa yẹn díẹ̀. Mo sọ pé bàbá náà máa mọ̀ ọ́ pẹ́. Number one, wọ́n rí méjì kan ní some few miles away from Ife some few years ago. That image is about 8,000 years ago.
So wọ́n rí kan náà ní ìwé lérú náà that one is 13,000 years.
Okay.
20 minutes away from Akure.
Okay. So all these things they've actually carbon dated it, and it's a fact that is how old they are. Níjọ́ Wednesdays ní aago mẹ́rin ọ̀sán bàbá wa ewé jẹ́ wọ́n máa wà pẹ̀lú wa ní ọjọ́ Wednesday ní aago mẹ́rin ọ̀sán láti máa ṣe ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ fún wa ní tó ń jẹ́ òótọ́ nǹkan bí mo ṣe sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan pé wọ́n ní tí ò bá ti sí nínú Ifá wọ́n ní kò sí backup fún wọ́n ní bọ̀ anything tá a bá ṣe tí wọ́n fẹ́ sọ tó bá ti wà nínú Ifá then òótọ́ wà nínú ẹ̀ nìyẹn. So kò ní jẹ́ pé a kàn máa sọ̀tàn lásán wọ́n á ní something to back it up with. Mo rò pé mo ti dáhùn ìbéèrè yín. Ẹ ṣé gan ni ẹ ṣé sà ẹ jẹ́ ìfilẹ̀ tẹ́ máa lọ́gbà yẹn. Bàbá wa ti padà dé wọ́n fẹ́ fi map yẹn hàn wá ṣùgbọ́n mo máa jẹ́ kí wọ́n ní wa láti Amẹ́ríkà wọ́n tètè béèrè question wọn ná kí bàbá tó fi map yẹn hàn wá nítorí pé mo fẹ́ kí wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ mo sì ní èèyàn méjì lórí Zoom táwọn náà fẹ́ béèrè question ní nǹkan tí à ń ṣe lọ́wọ́ báyìí. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n show nǹkan tí bàbá fi hàn wá nǹkan tí bàbá fi hàn wá gangan nìyẹn. Mo rò pé ẹ lè rí bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa. Màmá wa ẹ gbóhùn sókè ẹ fẹ́ béèrè ìbéèrè lọ bàbá màmá alákàtúntò.
Wọ́n gbé Western region kúrò ní Nàìjíríà ní 1998 wọ́n ní a lè máa mú lọ pé that was the time tí wọ́n expect pé ìgbà tí ọba Abiola kú they expected pé àwa máa declare republic wa but we didn't. We went with a whimper and some of our people were happy that Abiola died. That is a fact and it's sad.
Okay, bàbá kẹtọ́ tẹ̀síwájú ẹ jẹ́ kí ìyàwó ìbéèrè wọn nítorí pé mo sì léèyàn méjì lórí ìkànnà tán fẹ́ béèrè ọ̀rọ̀ lọ́wọ́ yín ẹ gbóhùn sókè màmá.
ẹ kú àṣálẹ́ sà mo dúpẹ́ púpọ̀ lọ́wọ́ yín fún àkókò àti ìgbàtẹ́ní láti bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ inú wa sì dùn láti gbọ́ àwọn àlàyé ẹ̀kúnrẹ́rẹ́ tẹ́ ṣe fún wa lórí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá àti àwọn ohun tó ti ṣẹlẹ̀ sẹ́yìn. Èrò ọkàn mi àtàdúrà mi ni wípé àwa tó kù àtàwọn ọmọ wa tó ń bọ̀ lẹ́yìn wọ́n á lè kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ nínú eléyìí irú àṣìṣe gbogbo táwọn bàbá wa tó kọjá ṣe àwa náà ò ní lè ṣerú ẹ̀. Ṣùgbọ́n mò ń béèrè lákòókò yìí wípé ẹ jọ̀ọ́ sà kí ni ọ̀rọ̀ ìmọ̀ tẹ́ lè fún wa ní ọ̀nà tá a lè gbà tó ìlú yìí táwọn fi mú gbogbo àwọn tí kì í ṣara tiwa kúrò láàrin wa. Ẹ̀rọ ti wọnú ègún mo sọ́rí láti pòwe níwájú yín sà ègún sì ti wọnú ẹran àti ráwọn èèyàn wa tán ti táwọn tó ń bẹ ní òkè ọya tàbí tán jẹ́ middle belt. Kí la ṣe fẹ́ ṣe é tá ò fi ní bọ́ sínú ọ̀fìn ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kejì.
Ṣe ìyàwó máa fi ilẹ̀ kẹ́ máa gbọ́ lọ lórí ẹ̀rọ yín mà.
Nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ni pé ní gbogbo àgbáyé ṣe rí ìlú ìtawà ní Britain gbà tí Second World War even America tó máa ṣẹlẹ̀ àwọn Germans ní máa ń gbé ìlú yìí wọ́n dẹ̀ fẹ́ àwọn òyìnbó ẹmọ kan tó ń ṣe wọ́n rọra ṣàwọn wọ́n wọra táì wọn wọ́n wá fèsì ogun a mọ̀ wọ́n ká bá mọ̀ wọ́n gbà tá a bá fẹ́ dìde a máa fún choice tẹ́ bá fẹ́ padà sílùú bàbá yín tìyẹn tó bá jẹ́ obìnrin ní ó jẹ́ Yorùbá lára wọn ẹ̀yìn ibi tẹ́ fẹ́ lọ torí àní fẹ́ gba ìbọ̀dé torí a máa búra ní gbogbo ìlú káàkiri a máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní Ifẹ̀ ló ti máa tàn káàkiri ẹni tó bá dalẹ̀ Yorùbá ilẹ̀ máa dà ọ̀rọ̀ olè gbogbo ìlú ló ti ṣe rí tiwa ní jẹ́ àkọ́ la bá máa ṣe torí mo ṣàlàyé fún yín àwọn yìí wọ́n kọ́ àwọn German sọ̀rọ̀ láàrin wọn kọ́ wọn sí ẹgbẹ́ ibi tẹ́ máa wà ní until the war by end torí a lè trust allegiance ẹ má jà bẹ̀rù wọn ewé tó di ọṣẹ tó dẹ̀ pẹ́ ní ọṣẹ tó dọṣẹ àdàmọ̀dì ni o bọ̀tá máa mọ̀ yàtọ̀ mo sọ fún kábíyèsí kan náà ló wá rẹ́rìn mo ní òótọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ mo sọ ó lé ọjọ́ iwájú wà tá a máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń gbé lè ṣe ẹ má jà bẹ̀rù ibi tá à ń lọ la máa ṣètò ẹ̀ ètò dẹ̀ ti wà nílẹ̀ gidigidi pẹ̀lú leadership Professor Banji Akintoye and all others à ń ṣe àwọn ìpàdé kan èmi bíi pé kí n gbìyànjú láti sòdodo fún àwọn èèyàn tó lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ wa náà ní àìnílàákàyè nípa nǹkan tá à ń ṣe Nàìjíríà dáa bẹ́ẹ̀ á tún ṣe èdè náà sọ ó dáa bẹ́ẹ̀ á tún ṣe díẹ̀díẹ̀ nǹkan tí mo sọ yìí ó dáa pé gbogbo ẹ̀ ti dàbẹ̀ tó fẹ́ dàrú tí bá fẹ́ sọ fún pé ẹ rí gbogbo ibi tí àwọn Fúlàní dúró sí nílẹ̀ wa tó jẹ́ bíi boundary land títí dé Sokoto wọ́n ti survey ẹ̀ sílẹ̀ tipẹ́ iṣẹ́ ìsìn àti pé National Water Development River Basin Development Board àwọn ọbẹ̀ wọ́n ti ó yẹ kí wọ́n ti ṣe àwọn irrigation farms síbẹ̀ covering about 3,000 hectares of land besides Oyo Dam. Oyo Dam, I will now mention it, was built and commissioned in 1983. By 1984, Buhari closed it down. Buhari pé kò gbọdọ̀ ṣiṣẹ́ torí owó federal náà fẹ́ fi ṣe àwọn irrigation channels yẹn tó yẹ kán ṣe àti pipeline tó máa gbómi wá sékòó àti Abẹ́òkúta tó yẹ kán ti ṣe láti gbà yẹn tó fi ń flood Èkó tí federal government ò bìkítà àwọn èèyàn wa lọ́lá dẹ̀ ṣì ń wò. Mo sọ fún àwọn gómìnà Ògùn State pé ṣe sọ federal pé dáàmù tẹ ṣe lẹ̀ number 1 9 megawatts of electricity generating plant ó wà ń bẹ̀ wọn ò jẹ́ ó ṣiṣẹ́. How will you have an asset and you don't allow it to work? Àwọn èèyàn wá dẹ̀ dákẹ́ wọ́n ń bá wọn ṣe political accommodation wọ́n ń ṣèpàdé káàkiri. Ṣé wọ́n lórí? Mo sọ pé we fully blind people la kójọ tá a pè ní politician. Àwa náà la dé àwa followers la dé máa gbá ògo tá a máa ṣe bàbá Jagaban kíní kan. What is wrong with us? And our land is getting spoiled. That land was again surveyed ní 1976 tó ń ṣe Nigerian motor rally from Lagos via Abeokuta via Kanji Dam to Sokoto tó end up pẹ̀lú Agungu motor rally Agungu festival. Some of you elders will know this. That was a survey of that route for this eventual usage tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ẹ̀sìn.
Dádì nítorí èrò pọ̀ lórí ìkànnà tó fẹ́ béèrè ìbéèrè ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe ní pápápá àwọn tó wà lórí Zoom ni màá kọ́kọ́ mú èèyàn kan nínú wọn náà bàbá wa Alabi bàbá wa kẹ Padimi of the highest order.
Bashiru.
Question is
Alabi Bashiru.
Yes, Padimi of the highest order ni.
Bàbá wa kó ètò ẹ pẹ́ fún wa.
Dádì mi mọ̀ pé ìní o.
Nǹkan méjì kò fẹ́ yanjú. Àkọ́kọ́ ni pé ìbéèrè pé ọ̀nà wo ló máa gbà láti yá wa. Àkọ́kọ́ nìyẹn. Ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kejì ni pé bàbá ẹ wo nípò náà àtàwọn ti sọ pé wọ́n Nàìjíríà ẹni tó wà lẹ́jọ́ 50 wà bẹ̀ 60 wà bẹ̀ ẹ wá wo àwọn ọmọ wa tó wà níbi 25 35. Ìgbésẹ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ rò ó yẹ ká kọ́kọ́ gbé ni kó yẹ ká wo gbogbo àwọn yunifásitì wa. Mo jẹ́ èèyàn méjì ni bàbá bíkọ́ tá a bá gba ìlú ìpapà gan táwọn ọmọdé Yorùbá mọ̀ tán. Wọ́n ní ogún tí Yorùbá pètò ẹlẹ́yẹ̀ fọmọ gan ó ṣeé ṣe kọ́mọ ẹ̀ náà máa mọ̀ gbogbo ẹ̀. Gbogbo wàhálà tá à ń ṣe táwọn ọmọdé tí ò bá yé wọn bíkọ́ sẹ́wọ́n olú àwọn bàbá olówó ọmọ tó Àfọ̀njá wọ́n dẹ̀ tún ṣe àṣìṣe pẹ̀lú àwọn Fúlàní yìí. Èmi rò pé yẹn ti yunifásitì yẹn ló yẹ ká wá bá ṣe máa ṣe bàbá. Mo jẹ́ èèyàn méjì ni ká wo bá ṣe máa wọ àwọn yunifásitì wa ànàná ó láti gbà tó lè tètè yá wa torí bá ṣe ń pẹ́ Yorùbá ló ń dọṣẹ́.
Ẹ ṣe gan fún ọ̀rọ̀ tẹ̀sán mi ní sọ pé ìbéèrè ni ọ̀rọ̀ gidi lẹ sọ. Professor Banji Akite ti ń ṣètò kíní yẹn and then náà èmi gan bí ṣe jókòó kò sígbà tí mo ń bá àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ mi àtàwọn tí mi ò mọ̀ rí tí mo ń bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀ nítorí pé wọ́n ti máa ń gbóhùn mi wọ́n hack phone mi ní last 2 weeks mo dẹ̀ ti restore padà mo change number mi mo sọ fún wọn pé kò sí àfi Ọlọ́run Lódùmarè ló lè dá mi dúró nu nǹkan tá a ti kò sí yẹn kò sí ẹlẹ́dàá tán bí tó jóbìnrin ló bí ló lè dá mi dúró lórí ọ̀rọ̀ yìí. Wọ́n hack phone mi wọ́n gbogbo details WhatsApp mi tí mo máa fi ń send messages sí àwọn èèyàn náà dàrú èyí tí mo jẹ́ kíní wọ́n dàrú ìyẹn ò bà mí lẹ́rù but lọ́rọ̀ kan ẹ má ní fòyà we are campaigning to the grassroots we are campaigning kò sígbà níbi ìka tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ gbogbo à ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa dissolution of the amalgamation èmi ò kì í fẹ́ sọ pé we are agitating. It's not an agitation. It's a call for the dissolution of the administration of the amalgamation. It's a call for it. We are not agitating. Ìgbà téèyàn bá agitate náà máa ní pé jẹ́ ká wá ṣe legal disposition of settlement. We are not calling for a settlement. So nǹkan èdè ìbò ìgbà ní àmọ́ tán. Why are you agitating? We are not agitating. We are calling for a dissolution of the amalgamation ẹjọ́. Ọ̀rọ̀ tí mo fẹ́ kí gbogbo yín máa sọ nìyẹn. We are not agitating. We are calling for the end of the amalgamation. It serves no purpose for our future anymore. Ṣé ń gbọ́ mi ẹ jọ̀ọ́? It's not an agitation. It's a call for the dissolution of the amalgamation that brought both the North and South together. It serves no purpose. It serves no purpose to anything anymore. We have in the South been protecting Nigeria. The North have been using Nigeria. Never made it mo sọ. Àwa là ń tọ́jú Nigeria, àwọn dẹ̀ ń lò ó. Kéye yín o. Àwa là ń pariwo Nigeria. Àwọn tẹ́ bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ anybody tó wá látọ̀nà tó pé where are you from? Wọ́n ní I'm from the North. Wọ́n sọ pé I'm in Nigeria. I've met several of them. Ọ̀rẹ́ mi ni wọ́n. They are human beings, but I don't want to be in the same country with them.
Ẹ ṣé bàbá nítorí pé àkókò wa bàbá ẹni tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ láti Amẹ́ríkà ẹni tó pè láti Amẹ́ríkà wireless 12622 ẹgbọ́n sókè tí wà lórí kan náà.
Lákọ̀ọ́kọ́ orúkọ mi ni Adésínà. Mo fẹ́ kí bàbá inú mi dẹ̀ dùn gan pẹ̀lú àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ tí mo gbọ́ láti ẹnu wọn. Àdúrà mi ní pé àgbàbí tí wọ́n ní tán lórí ẹ̀ Ọlọ́run á dẹ̀ túbọ̀ ní ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀mí wọn. Ìbéèrè tí èmi fẹ́ béèrè ni wípé lórí ti issue of ti learning center tó ní pé wà ní Ọ̀tà àbí. Èmi fẹ́ jẹ́ kí wọ́n consider àwa tó jẹ́ wípé a ní àǹfààní láti wà ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ní ọwọ́ báyìí dúró àwa tá wà lókè òkun. Ìjẹ́ ṣé ó ṣeé ṣe kí wọ́n create bí platform fún àwa yìí náà láti learn because nítòótọ́ tá a bá mọ irú ẹni tá a jẹ́ kò sígbà téèyàn ní jẹ́ ẹrú. Tó bá ṣeé ṣe inú mi ò bá dùn róhùn mi láti mọ̀ nípa ilẹ̀ Yorùbá dáradára ohùn mi torí ọjọ́ ọ̀la pàápàá torí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá tí gbogbo wa ń ṣe kínní láti gbà yìí. Inú mi ò bá dùn tán bá lè fún wa ní information lórí tí plan bá wà láti jẹ́ kí platform wà tó jẹ́ online platform fún àwa tó jẹ́ pé àti nítòsí láti jẹ́ beneficiary of nǹkan báyìí. Ìbéèrè mi nìyẹn.
Ẹ ṣé sà, èmi náà ni màá dá yín lóhùn yẹn nítorí pé èmi ni ó dà pé ọwọ́ mi sì ní kọ́kọ́rọ́ ẹ̀ wà kò tí ì sí lọ́wọ́ bàbá Àjàlá àti lọ́wọ́ màmá wa Olúwafúnmilọ́lá kọ́kọ́rọ́ ẹ̀ náà wà lọ́wọ́ àwọn náà díẹ̀ ní agbára Ọlọ́run nítorí bí nǹkan ṣe rí àti kọ́ ẹ̀kọ́ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ lórí bí nǹkan ṣe rí nígbà tí lockdown ti wà. So automatically it won't be for people in the land only, it will be for people who can do it online as well. Kò ní jẹ́ pé dandan ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ wà ń bẹ̀. But from one at a time you might have to, if it's convenient for you, maybe during the graduation or something like that, maybe you might have to visit the center. I don't know the modality that's going to take, but I think that is something that we have in mind that we plan to do. Ọlọ́run á dẹ̀ fún wa ṣe. Ẹ ṣé gan ni ẹ jẹ́ kí n fílẹ̀ kẹ́ máa lọ kẹ́ lè máa gbọ́ yòókù lórí kí.
In addition ẹni tó sọ̀rọ̀ gbẹ̀yìn tó fún mi ní nọ́mbà wọn màá fún ọ ní site kan lórí web Facebook mi. I'm an assessor to the same thing láti bẹ̀rẹ̀ way back 1999 Yoruba World. It's a learning center.
Very much.
Okay, text me lórí heritage text.
Anybody who's interested on the Yoruba world, it's not about the campaign, it's about learning about our origin, our language, our structure, our development of text material. Ìyẹn ni kíni ẹ̀ wà fún Yoruba world yẹn. So and it's very detailed. And I expect everybody, whether you are ẹgbẹ́ kan tàbí tàn ẹ̀jẹ̀ member, because there's a lot. Ìmọ̀ràn ńlá wà ń bẹ̀ ó connect wa pẹ̀lú àwọn tó wà ní Brazil àti Mexico tẹ́ bá mọ̀ àwọn Yorùbá funfun wà ní Mexico tó ń jẹ́ bí òyìnbó bọ̀ tí Yorùbá ni wọ́n tó bá ń ṣe ọdún báyìí ẹ máa ké ni pé ẹ má jẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ mọ́ tó bá wù yẹn Google ẹ sọ pé Yorùbá sí Mexico you will say it.
Ok, ẹ ṣé gan ni bàbá wa mo dúpẹ́ pọ̀ lọ́wọ́ ẹni tí màá gba ìpín ẹ̀kẹ́yìn wọ́n wà lórí iPhone lórí platform. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹni tó wà lórí iPhone ẹ bá gbóhùn sókè ẹ ti wà lórí kan náà.
ẹ kúrọ̀lẹ́ ẹ kalẹ́ olóòtú ìṣọ̀kan adé orúkọ tèmi ni Akíntọ́lá láti ìlú London.
bàbá ẹ kalẹ́ sà dókítà.
mo fẹ́ fi àsìkò yìí yes ẹ kalẹ́ mo fẹ́ fi àsìkò lọ́wọ́ àwọn bàbá wa àgbáyé adalẹ́ a máa rí yín bá.
ẹ ṣeun.
mo ti ń gbọ́ yín láti bẹ̀rẹ̀ ètò yìí mo ń fi àsìkò yìí dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run Elédùmarè fún dídá tó dá yín sílẹ̀ Yorùbá àní pàápàá jùlọ àkókò tá a wà yìí. mo ṣe ń gbọ́ yín láti ìgbà tá a ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ ètò yìí Ọlọ́run fi àwọn ọ̀gbọ́n lọ́kàn láti sọ fún yín kí a tó parí ètò náà. Àjàlá kò dúpẹ́ fún ìgbàlè tí Ọlọ́run fún yín àti ìmọ̀ tí Ọlọ́run fún yín pàápàá jùlọ. mo wá rí i pé ìmọ̀ tọ́lọ́run fún yín màá mix àwọn òyìnbó words kan láàrin ẹ̀ torí àwọn tí wọ́n lè má gbọ́ dáadáa. àwọn ìmọ̀ tọ́lọ́run fún yín mo fẹ́ kí ẹ mọ̀ pé ó wà unique to you. Kò common out there to so many people. Fún àwọn tó ń darí wa láti bẹ̀rẹ̀ wá. Nítorí èyí àwọn ènìyàn mi ṣègbé nítorí wọn ò ní ìmọ̀ ni. Torí ẹ̀ lọ́lọ́run ṣe fún yín ní ìmọ̀ tó péye tó fún yín báyìí. Ọlọ́run á fi yé mi pé ìmọ̀ yìí ẹ ní láti jẹ́ kó jáde out there sí gbogbo àwọn èèyàn. Ọmọdé ni, àgbà ni, àwọn olóṣèlú ni, àwọn tí òṣèlú ni, àwọn ọ̀jẹ̀lú ni. Aláti gbé ìmọ̀ yìí síta ń bẹ̀. Nínú ọ̀rọ̀ tí ẹ ti sọ tẹ́lẹ̀ ẹ ń ṣí àwọn ìmọ̀ yìí fún àwọn tẹ́ ẹ mọ̀. But àwọn tẹ́ ẹ mọ̀ yìí Ọlọ́run ò fún wọn ní grace láti lè sọ̀rọ̀ sókè lórí ìmọ̀ tẹ́ ṣí pẹ̀lú wọn. Torí nǹkan tó máa jẹ́ many of them. Ṣùgbọ́n Ọlọ́run fi yé mi pé ẹ̀yin lọ́wọ́ fún ìmọ̀ yìí òun dẹ̀ fẹ́ kẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ sókè. Torí ìdí èyí bàbá wa ẹ nídìí láti create platform fúnra yín tí àwọn ọmọ yìí máa jáde undiluted. Ẹ máa gbé àgbàkalẹ̀ yẹn tó máa wà straight to the point fún àwọn tí ó máa gbọ́ yín. Gbogbo ẹ̀ka ìmọ̀ àtọmọdé àtàgbà. Gbogbo ara gbọ́dọ̀ ní ìmọ̀ tẹ́ mọ̀ yìí. So important ní ìjà tá à ń jà lọ́wọ́ right now. Àtàbá ní ìmọ̀ yìí tó máa ràn wá lóye fún wa láti jẹ́ kí ìjà kíkan gbogbo wa. The message is so clear tí ẹ pé tí gbogbo wa bá ní ìmọ̀ yìí ìmọ̀ tẹ́yìn ní ìṣà tí gbogbo wa bá ní ẹ̀ka dúró àbí ká má dà dúró kò sí nǹkan tó jẹ́ wọ́n Nàìjíríà. Wọ́n Nàìjíríà fúnra ẹ̀ exist in the plan of God in the first place. Nigeria as a nation is I would say it's demonic. It's a demonic union. Ọlọ́run ò fọwọ́ sí láti rẹ̀. Yoruba Nation elédè àwọn èdè tí àwọn tẹ̀lé ọ̀rọ̀ wọn ni Ọlọ́run fọwọ́ sí as a nation. Tí Olúwa ní ilẹ̀ àti Ọlọ́run ló ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Iṣẹ́ ta ní láti bẹ̀bẹ̀ fún ẹ̀tọ́ wa ni. Ìmọ̀ tọ́lọ́run fún yín bàbá ẹ jẹ́ kí ó jáde. Ẹ̀yin gan gbọ́dọ̀ wá platform yín fúnra yín. Mo dẹ̀ wọ̀n pé olóòtú wa Àpọ́sù Adé ti heritage wọ́n wọ́n lè jẹ́ kó túbọ̀ ṣeé ṣe ju bá ṣe lọ. A nídìí ìmọ̀ yìí right now ẹ bá wa package ẹ̀ ní ìtò máa yé gbogbo èèyàn àtàwọn tó wà lé o àtàwọn tó wà lóko níbi gbogbo ẹjọ́ sà ẹ bá wa ṣiṣẹ́ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ yìí. Ó wà very very important. Ó wà very very important.
Yóò dáa fún yín.
Very very important.
Very important.
Ẹ ṣeun mo ti ń ṣiṣẹ́ lórí ẹ̀ lórí ẹ̀ mo ṣe ń gbé lára àwọn maps tí mo ń ṣe lọ́wọ́. Mo fẹ́ package gbogbo ẹ̀ àti the most important part tí mo rò bí mo gbọ́dọ̀ gbé jáde láìpẹ́ ni pé 2018 not ti dissolve Nigeria not pin àwa la accept torí tẹ́bá wo I wish I can bring out the map of West Africa. Tẹ́bá wo map of West Africa, the northern part from on the west side just a few kilometers down River Niger on the boundary between Niger and Benin and Nigeria. From there right round to Lake Chad kò sí bóde mọ́ láti 2018. So ìgbà tí bí bá ń pa wá nísàlẹ̀ wọ́n kó oúnjẹ wá láti ní wọ́n kàn transport oúnjẹ wá láti kíní fún wọn ní ọ̀dọ̀ wọn bẹ́ẹ̀. Ìgbà tí wọ́n bá ń ṣe election wọ́n kàn máa ń ẹsẹ̀ náà máa fi rìn wọlé láti wá. In fact ẹ mọ̀ gbogbo wa la mọ̀ pé Buhari is from Maradi. It's just across the boundary which does not exist from Katsina, just about 100 kilometers away. Ibẹ̀ ló ti wá. Nítorí ẹ̀ ló ó dẹ̀ ti gboyè ń bẹ̀ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ aláàfẹ́tì sí wọ́n fún lóyè recently about February kó tó kúrò wá sí ìlú èbó bíbá fún ìwòsàn. Mo ti sọ fún torí wọ́n mọ̀ mí wọ́n rí mi rí èmi fẹ́ kó mọ̀ mí pé mo ń sòótọ́ fún wọn fún ìgbà sílẹ̀ gbogbo aláwọ̀ dúdú lọ̀rọ̀ tí mò ń sọ yìí. Tí Nàìjíríà bá continue láti exist we cannot ever develop. Ilé prison yard ni gbogbo a máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń kọ́ káàkiri ọ̀ ká máa sáré ká má rí oko lọ́mọ́ níwà làwọn ní oko lọ́dọ̀ tiwọn. Wọ́n ṣe program kan I'm sorry to be sort of a little bit detailed. Wọ́n ṣe program kan tó ń show rice cultivation ní Taraba State. Gbà tí cameraman yẹn tó ń show ẹ̀ number one mo notice pé àwọn tó ní wọ́n ní oko yẹn wọn ò gbédè èbó èdè wọn náà ń sọ. Tó bá já wa ni a máa ṣe èdè ìbò tátàtàtà mọ ẹ̀tàn tó bá jẹ́ oko wa la náà wá. Èmi á sọ Yorùbá ni tó bá torí èmi á sọ ibi ìbí iṣẹ́ mi ìgbà tó ń bi mí pé where are you from? Say I'm a Yoruba man from Nigeria. Nigeria say yes but I'm a Yoruba man. Ẹ kọ́ lẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ that's what is in my employment papers nílùú.
Ẹ ṣe gọ́nza.
So ìgbà tí wọ́n show kíní rice cultivation yẹn tí cameraman yẹn wá pan camera lọ sí on the right I don't know some of you might have seen it mo rí ọgbà màálù tó ń fence so wọ́n wá gbá ọwọ́ cameraman yẹn kúrò kókó gbé kúrò nǹkan tí wọ́n fẹ́ kó ṣòpọ̀ ẹ̀. They have branches in the north but they refuse to the whole màálù tó wà Nàìjíríà tó bá ń times 18 àyè fún wọn láti occupy land in the north times 18 of all the cattle in Nigeria wọ́n bá kó padà sọ́dọ̀ wọn 18 times land space ló wà nílẹ̀ fún wọn. That's a geographical fact.
Ẹ ṣé bàbá nítorí àkókò wa mo ní ìyá wa kan lórí ìkànnà ènìyàn méjì péré ló máa bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ mọ́mì ẹ bá yí tẹ̀yìn sílẹ̀ o ìbéèrè yín àti bíi tẹ́ ti ń pè àtorúkọ yín mà.
Èmi ni Mrs. Bọ́láhàn Adédìran láti London ń bí lọ́nà Bákìn bí báyìí. So mo fẹ́ sọ pé bàbá yìí tó ń bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ dádì tó wà lórí ìkànnì tá ń béèrè ọ̀rọ̀ lọ́wọ́ wọn yìí. Gbogbo àwọn nǹkan tí bàbá yẹn ń sọ ọ̀rọ̀ gidi ni. Mo wá ń wò pé bá a ṣe ń sọ pé kí bàbá máa sọ káàkiri wọn ní mímí inú àti àásù wọn. Ká wá gbé wọn kalẹ̀ kán gba rìkọ́dìnì ẹ̀ sílẹ̀ kí bàbá farabalẹ̀ sọ gbogbo ẹ̀ báyìí bóyájọ́ kan ni bóyájọ́ méjì ló máa gbà bóyá ọ̀sẹ̀ kan ló máa gbà wọ́n ẹ gba gbogbo ẹ̀ sílẹ̀ wọ́n ṣèwé ẹ̀ wọ́n ṣe níwèé rìkọ́dìnì yẹn náà máa play náà máa tẹ lóríṣiríṣi náà máa gbé lọ yunifásitì náà máa play ẹ̀ fún wọn káàkiri bàbá ìyá lè nísìnyí kò ní máa rojọ́ tó máa sùn lọ́rọ̀ mi ní yín
Oye mama.
pẹ̀lú ti bàbá adé bàbá Bánjí náà gbogbo nǹkan tí wọ́n mọ̀ wọ́n gbà sí rìkọ́dìn wọ́n gba rìkọ́dìn yẹn sílẹ̀ gbọ́ àwọn tó bá mọ̀ nǹkan gbogbo bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ̀n yẹn lóríṣiríṣi wọ́n gba gbogbo rìkọ́dìn yẹn sílẹ̀ kán wá pàìlẹ̀ up káwa ọmọ Yorùbá ká máa mọ̀ ká máa gbọ́ àti máa rojọ́ á tú àwọn bàbá yìí.
Ẹ ṣé gan ni ìyá wa mo dúpẹ́ pọ̀ lọ́wọ́ yín.
Mo mọ̀ pé kì í ṣe question ni bàbá ni wọ́n sọ fún wọn kàn gbà wá nímọ̀ràn ni mọ́mì wá gbà mọ́mì má jẹ́ kẹ́ máa lọ mà mo ní èèyàn míì lórí ìkànnà tí wọ́n fẹ́ béèrè lọ́wọ́ yín láti Amẹ́ríkà ẹgbọ́n sókè ti wà lórí ìkànnà.
Mo wà ń bẹ̀.
Ó yẹ ẹgbọ́n sókè sà.
Kì í ṣe ìbéèrè ni mo fẹ́ béèrè ẹ ṣé gan ni Olúwa dúró tì yín.
Àmì àṣẹ ìdùnnú rẹ̀.
Ṣé ẹ rí Bíbélì wípé gbogbo ni àkókò wà fún àkókò tó fún wa àwa Yorùbá láti padà sílé ni. Ẹ̀mí Ọlọ́run dẹ̀ fi pásítọ̀ Fáyìntọ́ lórúkọ tèmi pásítọ̀ Fáyìntọ́.
How are you? Báwo ni ọ̀rẹ́ mi ni?
Dáadáa. Ọ̀rẹ́ yín ni mo jẹ́.
Gẹ̀ẹ́sì ló ń sọ̀rọ̀. Ọmọ kó mo ti change orúkọ mi kúrò ní Fúlàní sí Àjàlá. Ṣé torí pé mo lókè ọ̀gbìn? Ẹ̀jẹ̀ lórí mọ̀ Túndé.
Ṣé rí?
Ọlọ́run á dúró tí mo bí wa o.
Hello? Ọlọ́run fi hàn mí pé Ọlọ́run fi hàn mí pé àwa tá a wà ní òkè òkun ní ìlú òyìnbó la máa wá tún ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ṣe. Ṣé wá rí nǹkan tí a gbọ́ ètò orí yìí? Ẹ jẹ́ kí bàbá wa Àjàlá tó sọ̀rọ̀ kí wọ́n wá sí Amẹ́ríkà kí wọ́n bá gbogbo Yorùbá sọ̀rọ̀. And at the same time kan create course tí gbogbo wa máa dáwó sí nílẹ̀ Amẹ́ríkà. Ohun méjì yẹn lọ́wọ́ sọ fún bàbá wa Àjàlá torí mi ò rí wọn bá sọ̀rọ̀ báyìí ọ̀tọ̀lẹ́ni tí wọ́n bá sọ̀rọ̀.
Àwọn lè ń bá sọ̀rọ̀ sà.
Ṣé bàbá Àjàlá ni wọ́n bá sọ̀rọ̀ báyìí?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni sà.
Èmi ni o.
Ẹ jẹ́ kí bàbá Àjàlá ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ wá sí Amẹ́ríkà ẹ wá bá gbogbo Yorùbá sọ̀rọ̀ sẹ́ńtà tẹ́lẹ̀ ó lè pé Yorùbá ní New York àwọn Chicago á wá àwọn Washington á wá àwọn tó wà ní Philadelphia á wá àwọn tó wà ní tí orúkọ Maryland àti ọ̀dà wọn á wá torí ibi tí Yorùbá pọ̀ sí nìyẹn ní California ẹ ti fi ọjọ́ ránṣẹ́ ẹ bá gbogbo wa sọ̀rọ̀ papọ̀ ẹ dẹ̀ create port ká máa dáwó sí instantly báńkì báyìí o tí ẹ bá ti tẹ nọ́mbà báyìí owó á lọ sínú ẹ̀ straight á dáa púpọ̀ orí kékeré ní kó má bàa dúró sà Ọlọ́run á ràn yín lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run
ṣe gan ni màá bá yín sọ̀rọ̀ tá a bá ti ṣètò ìtọ́ ẹ ṣe.
Ó dà sà.
Ok.
Ṣé nọ́mbà mi yọ ń bẹ̀ yẹn sà?
Mo ní nọ́mbà ẹ̀.
Nọ́mbà yín yọ.
Mo ní nọ́mbà ẹ̀ náà.
Ok ẹ ṣé sà mo dúpẹ́ o. Ọlọ́run á gbà fún wa mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo àwọn èèyàn wa tó ti bá wa kópa nínú ohun tá a ṣe lọ́jọ́ tòní kò ní wá lágbára Ọlọ́run. Àwọn èèyàn méjì kan wọ́n tún ti náà sókè bàbá wa ọmọọba Gbádégìtẹ́ nọ́mbà yín o ẹ nílé sọ̀rọ̀ nítorí pé kò sí microphone nínú kinní yín yẹn o microphone ò sí nínú kinní yín yẹn rárá tó.
ó wà ń bẹ o microphone wà ń bẹ o bàbá.
báà lè ṣe ṣe.
ìbẹ̀ǹbẹ̀ o ṣe ń gbọ́ mi.
báà lè ṣe wá ṣe báwọn mi rí tẹ̀tẹ̀lẹ̀ wọ́n lè dé yín lójijì ni.
káwọn mọ pariwo títa.
ó yá ẹgbọ́n sókè ẹ̀ ti wà lórí ìkànnà.
ó dà ẹ ṣeun o ẹ káalẹ́ o bàbá ẹ káalẹ́ ẹ kú wákàtí ọ̀wọ̀ yìí ẹ ṣeun fún gbogbo ìmọ̀ tí òye tẹ ti fún wa látàárọ̀ lágbára Elédùmarè àgbà yín yóò dálẹ̀.
Àmín àṣẹ.
ẹ fèrè kìjọgbè.
Àmín.
ẹ dàgbàdàgbà àwọn ọmọ yín wá báyìí kiri ẹ ṣeun torí látìgbà tèmi ti gbọ́njú tí òye sì ti yé mi díẹ̀ tí mo ti rí gbogbo bí àwọn bàbá wa ṣe rìn ohun tó máa ń kọ mí lóminú gan-an jù òun lè sọ abẹ́lójú kò lè lórí bàbá wa àwọn bàbá wa tí wọ́n ti ṣe àwọn ètò kan sẹ́yìn ó máa ń rú mi lójú ní pé àti wá ṣe ń gbà yẹn tó jẹ́ wípé ìjàngbara òmìnira ọ̀hún kì í ṣe pa agbára wa jáde ẹ ṣeun bàbá torí mi ò tí ì rí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn bàbá bíi tiyín báyìí tí wọ́n jáde síta tí wọ́n sọjú abẹ́ǹkò wípé ibi tí àwọn bàbá wa kan tí wọ́n ṣe kù sí rèé èyí tí wọ́n ṣe tó dáa àmọ́ ó ní àwọn ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ bàbá wa máa ń sọ èyí tó kù díẹ̀ káàtó wọn ń fẹnu kàn tá a bá dẹ̀ lè fẹnu kàn yẹn àwọn ọmọ tá a wà lẹ́yìn tá a ń dàgbà bọ̀ orí wọn ọmọ tuntun á máa wọ́ lọ ni ẹ ṣeun wípé irú àgbà tí ní ta bá rí irú ẹ̀ sí orí ọmọ tuntun ò ní wọ́n nígboro mọ́ ẹ ṣeun bàbá o ẹ ṣeun o ọlọ́run tó wá ròyìn lágbára á ròyìn ní àlàáfíà àti ẹ̀mí gúngùn gbogbo iṣẹ́ táwọn ọmọ yín béèrè yìí tẹ́ẹ̀fì láǹfààní tẹ́ẹ̀fì bá wa ṣe síwájú ẹ ṣé o ẹ ṣeun bàbá ẹ ṣe mo dúpẹ́ o a máa rí ní bá o èmi ò jù bá yẹn lọ o ẹ ṣeun o ẹ ṣeun o
ẹ ṣé bàbá wa dúpẹ́ pọ̀ yín kí a tó tẹ̀síwájú lórí ètò yìí gbogbo yín tẹ̀ wá lórí Facebook mo mọ̀ pé gbogbo yín lẹ́wọ́ bíi 400 or so on people tó ń wò lórí Facebook bákan náà ni àwọn kan wà lórí lórí YouTube bákan náà làwọn kan wà lórí Facebook tí wọ́n wò ó ẹ jọ̀ọ́ mo fi ọ̀nà Ọlọ́run bẹ̀ yín ẹ bá mi like any page tẹ́ bá ti ń wò ó ẹ bá mi like page yẹn gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń wò lórí YouTube ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ like yẹ ẹ dẹ̀ jọ̀ọ́ nítorí Ọlọ́run nítorí continuity kíkíní yìí kó bá lè débi tó yẹ kó dé ẹ bá mi subscribe sí page tí ẹ ti ń wò kó bá jẹ́ heritage tẹ́ ti ń wò lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí kò bá jẹ́ any other page tẹ́ ti máa wò later nítorí pé ètò yìí kì í ṣe heritage ló ní gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá ló ní anybody ló lè upload ẹ̀ sórí YouTube channel wọn ló lè upload ẹ̀ sórí Facebook page wọn láì ní wàhálà nínú. Heritage does not report anybody to Facebook or YouTube for showing what we are showing now. Nítorí pé program yìí the more people tó gbọ́ láǹfààní wà fún wa. So tẹ́ bá ní YouTube page èyí náà lè mú ẹ upload ẹ̀ sí YouTube page yín kò sí èèwọ̀ ń bẹ̀ a kì í pariwo à ń gbọ́ lórí YouTube tiwa nítorí pé ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ló wà fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pátá ni ètò yìí heritage kan ló ní gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pátápátá ló ní. So it doesn't matter even if you want to upload it to your Facebook page, YouTube page and claim money on it, it doesn't bother me as long as you're not preventing anybody else from uploading it. So please subscribe. Oh wow, you guys are faithful. You've actually smashed it. Ayuade, I can see your hand there. You're the one working on it. Because by the time I start talking about like, it was about 101. By the time I finish talking about it, it's 152 already. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín. Kò wá ń ṣe like nìkan o. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ torí Ọlọ́run, ẹ subscribe sí channel yẹn. Nítorí pé àwọn ètò tó ń wá láti ilé heritage, ètò tó ní agbára ni. Lánàá, bàbá wa tó sọ̀rọ̀ tán nísìnyí, ọmọọba Gbádébìtẹ́, àwọn ni wọ́n pè ní bàbá ìjìnlẹ̀. Wọ́n ṣe ètò lórí heritage níjọ́ Monday aago méje ìrọ̀lẹ́ ni wọ́n máa ń bẹ̀rẹ̀ program wọn. Nítorí pé kán fọ́ ìjìnlẹ̀ lọ̀rọ̀. Wọ́n ní pé gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ tá a sọ ló ní meaning.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni o.
Wọ́n dẹ̀ máa mú wọn máa fọ wẹ́wẹ́wẹ́wẹ́wẹ́ pàtó ń fọ́kàn lánàá wọ́n ní ọ̀ní ìrìṣà ọ̀ní tó ní òrìṣà ọ̀ní ìrìṣà ọ̀ní. Wọ́n wo ọ̀ní yẹn mo ní ọ̀ní yẹn ò jọ̀bọ̀ mo wá rántí èdè Ifẹ̀ wọ́n rí pé Ifẹ̀ náà fi pé ọ̀ní ẹni tó ní òrìṣà ni ní ẹsẹ̀ wàá yé mi sí nǹkan tí mo ti kọ́ lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ní nǹkan bí ọ̀sẹ̀ 4 sí 5 tí wọ́n ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ ètò wọn gbàǹkan gbìlẹ̀ ètò wọn. Bákan náà bàbá wa kan náà àwọn náà máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ program tí wọ́n bàbá wa HBROYE Johnson àwọn náà máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ ètò wọn. Èmi ni mo ń fàṣẹyìn lórí ètò yẹn nítorí pé mi ìmọ̀ bí tọ́lọ̀ ń kọ́ àwọn wọ̀nyí pamọ́ sí ìmọ̀ wọn nǹkan tí ń bẹ nínú ọpọlọ wọn ó lágbára gbàǹkan gbì ní nǹkan tí ń bẹ nínú tí wọ́n bá jókòó tí wọ́n bá ń bá mi sọ̀rọ̀ báyìí ẹnu ọkàn máa yà mí pé báwo lẹ ṣe kó gbogbo iye sórí yín bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn mọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ àbí kọ́ ti mí rí bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹ̀ kó gbogbo iye sórí yín. So tẹ bá fẹ́ enjoy kíní ọ̀hún dáadáa ẹ jọ̀ọ́ nítorí Ọlọ́run ẹ bá mi subscribe. Wow guys, I'm telling you, you are fantastic. About 78 people has actually liked this program since I started talking. You can get the link for this as well and share it on your Facebook, on your WhatsApp. Let it go. Let people know nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ gangan. Nítorí táwọn èèyàn bá mọ nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ gangan, ó máa jẹ́ kán bọ́ lóko ẹrú. Ìjọ́ tí wèrè bá rí pé wèrè máa lóhùn ìjọ́ ẹ̀ lára ẹ̀yà. Ìjọ́ torí Ọlọ́run mo fi ìyọ́nú Ọlọ́run bẹ̀rẹ̀. Màmá wa ọ̀ bàbá wa Anjọ́lá ìyá Anjọ́lá bàbá Anjọ́lá Ọlọ́run ẹ bá gbóhùn sókè ẹ̀ tí wà lórí kan náà. Ẹ rí i pé mo pè tọ́ pátá ni wọ́n má bínú o. Ṣé ẹ ti hàn mí tàbí?
Mi ò mọ̀ ṣé Anjọ́lá ti tèmi.
Àti gbóhùn yín nìsín àti gbóhùn yín ẹ gbóhùn sókè.
Oh, okay. Orúkọ mi ni Angela, ọmọ Òfìsóyè láti ìlú Ilé
ẹ
Ifẹ̀.
sọ́tàn Anjola kí ni Anjola lè á Anjola Ọlọ́run.
Angela Olúwa ni.
Anjola Olúwa ẹ jẹ́ àsọ̀tàn ká máa Anjola Olúwa ẹ jẹ́ àfiránṣẹ́ sẹ́mi náà bíbá ẹ̀ kémi náà máa ń jẹ inú ẹ̀ torí Olúwa ni tẹ̀yìn à ń jẹ tí ẹ̀ ń jẹ tán àbí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́ ẹ ṣe sọ.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Ó yẹ gbóòsù kẹ́tù wà lórí kan náà.
Yeah, so ìbéèrè ti tèmi ó likely kò pín sí ọ̀nà méjì, bóyá ọ̀dọ̀ yín ni bóyá ọ̀dọ̀ dáàdì ni. So ibi tí èèyàn ti lè actually kópa, torí mo ti realize pé most of àwọn àpèlà agitation mo ti gbàgbé word ti dáàdì lò, you know, the strategy tá ń lò àti awareness tá ń create ó fall sáwọn category àtàwọn kan jù kan lọ. Mo realize pé àwọn tó wà ní bóyá bíi èmi máa pé 40 lọ́dún, so àwọn tó wà ní class mi a lot of them mo really mọ much de àwọn tó tún wà under bóyá bíi wòlíì àròlé gbogbo àwọn comedy yẹn ni a lot of them fèsì. So mo wá ń wò pé àwọn strategy wo ló wà tá a tún fi lè gain awareness láti capture mind a lot of them láti make sure wọ́n were educated. Ìyẹn one. The second one ni pé àwọn bíi portal téèyàn kan tiẹ̀ ti lè get gbogbo àwọn information nípa history tí mo tèmi fúnra mi báyìí tí mo mọ̀ in the last 2 years ó ti ju gbogbo nǹkan tí mo kọ́ lọ in the whole 35 years of my existence, even though our kan tiẹ̀ ṣùn sí ilé education díẹ̀ nígbà tá a lọ sí primary school in the 80s 90s káwá tó má ṣe ọ̀tà àwọn ti sìn tó jẹ́ pé kò kàn tiẹ̀ sí history kankan rárá, so mo believe pé àwọn yẹn kò kàn tiẹ̀ release much. But question mi ń bẹ̀ ni pé báwo lèèyàn ṣe lè key in, torí mi technology mo fi ń ṣiṣẹ́ máa ń bá àwọn èèyàn náà liaise, báwo la ṣe lè pump in, because a lot la lè ṣe láti gather data together, bóyá inú app kan ló máa wà ní o, bóyá center tẹ sọ yẹn ní o. Èmi báyìí mo lè spare time, mo lè volunteer time láti fi effort mi sílẹ̀. Mo dẹ̀ mọ̀ a few people náà tó jẹ́ pé àwọn náà dẹ̀ mind, but báwo lèèyàn ṣe lè take a step yẹn forward.
Ṣẹ́rí sọ́rọ̀ mo láti interrupt yìí, nǹkan tí mo ti ń wá nìyẹn. I have so much on my laptops, not one, and hard drives tí mo fẹ́ send out. I was trying to do it myself, although I know how to develop this, but how to now bring it out kí ó wà accessible sáwọn ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn èèyàn. Tẹ́ bá lè ràn mí lọ́wọ́, tẹ́ bá send number in me, tẹ́ bá send number in sí mi, I can upload step by step all the information I have so that you can help to spread it out. Please, I've been looking forward to this type of thing. I have too much. Gbà mí tí bá sọ fún pé orí bed mi àwọn files àti ìwé ló wà lórí ẹ̀. Ibi tí mo jókòó sí the same thing, because I decided to have a separate place from the main family house, devoted as a library and sleeping place for this course for the past 4 years, even before agitation tó bẹ̀rẹ̀. And kí tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ ilé ìyàwó máa ń lé mi kúrò ní sitting room mi pé gbogbo ilẹ̀ mo dá ìwé sí àti kí ló ṣe ní ṣé mi mo pa Nàìjíríà ni mi ò pa Nàìjíríà, but the future of my children is important.
Okay, ma drop number sí ọ̀dọ̀ daddy bóyá wọ́n lè pàṣẹ.
Ani daddy young boy ni mi o bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe daddy o.
I'm very happy to hear this. Okay. So I can start pumping out information to you and you have to spread it out.
Okay.
Okay. Ọlọ́run á gbà fún wa, ẹ ṣé gan bàbá wa Anjola, Ọlọ́run á bá mi dì í mú. Ẹni tí mo tún máa béèrè ọ̀rọ̀ lọ́wọ́ ni bàbá wa tó ń pè ní UB40, wọ́n máa ń kọrin ni. Àwọn náà kọ red wine yẹn, tẹ́ bá mọ̀ wọ́n dáadáa. Ohun wọn dùn báyìí, ara group ni wọ́n wà. Ẹ jẹ́ bá gbóhùn sókè. Wọ́n UB40 Yorùbá lẹ́yìn. Ẹ gbóhùn sókè sà.
Ọba Thomas, ẹ kú iṣẹ́ o.
Yes sir.
Daddy, I really appreciate seeing pé ẹ wá sórí program yìí. Actually, Bishop Mowa, and I've been listening all day. I violate every rules Bishop láti listen to the program because we are kí mo fún wa sí ibi tí ẹ mọ̀ wá. Àlọ́ ọlọ́tún wa sí toilet mo wà tó ti báyìí sọ̀rọ̀ báyìí. Daddy ẹ ṣe gan. Ẹ ti hit the point yìí long ago náà rọ̀ tẹ̀sán. Ẹ pé gbà kan ẹ mú ìwé lọ fún bàbá Adésànyà. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni. wọn ò kà á even ẹ tún mú fún àwọn ọmọọṣẹ́ wọn àwọn náà ò kà á ibi tí problem wa ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ nìyẹn àwọn akátá máa ń sọ ọ máa ń ṣe ẹ̀yẹ kan pé if you want black kids to go away from the corners of the street go and give them books they will run away problem ẹ ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ we don't read and a dúpẹ́ lọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run àwọn òyìnbó gan ti wá figure it out lọ́dọ̀ pé àwọn èèyàn gan ò fẹ́ máa kàwé mọ́ now they are doing audio books láti tẹ́ bá lè ṣe ìgbà tí I got to know about you sometimes late last 2 years ago and you were talking about this issue náà and I was able to buy one of your books.
Thank you.
So tẹ́ bá lè ṣe àwọn ìwé yẹn ní audios like you taba wà níbi iṣẹ́ just plug it in and reading but it is listening same thing tẹ́ bá lè convert àwọn ìwé yín sí audio it will go far àwọn tó wà nílé tó ò fẹ́ kàwé pé bí wọ́n fẹ́ kà ẹni tó ń gbé tó fẹ́ mú bọ́ọ̀sì tó ń ronú tó ń máa ṣe jẹun ló ń lẹ́nu kó máa ráyè láti kàwé in our days mẹ́ẹ̀ tá bá ti kà dé mo ti ṣetán ní yunifásitì gbogbo ìta lọ yunifásitì yẹn gan agídí la fi ń rí wọn pọ́n kò tẹ́ bá lè bá a ṣe wà ní
o.
So tẹ́ bá lè bá a ṣe that will solve a lot of this problem because lack of information in the business firm they always say what is the most important factor of production information gbogbo land labour capital gbogbo ni information is the key. So the only by get here, you solve a lot of our problem. Then secondly, after Timori 2 years ago, I have not seen you anywhere. Ìgbà tí ọ̀gá mi Thomas Sọlá náà pé Baba Ajala orúkọ wọn kọ́ ring the bell pé I've heard this name before. Baba yìí ni that was mainly mo send one link pé kọ́ send the link yẹn sí mi about taking and every rules just to listen to you again, Baba. So it shows how important your words are. Most especially the way you present them. Because me, they present the bench and present here. Abi MF, la ma fi so. To ba le pa àwọn èèyàn fẹ́ listen that ma be sin jagbe mọ́ wọn ni pé what it in dàrú ni, abori in dàrú ni. But the way you calmly explained everything. So we need more of you out there. Not actually like types of you. We need you out there more because but more repairs were online. I was sending this link to every of my friends at listen to this movie captions. Please, if you don't listen to anything, listen to this Baba. If you don't listen to anything, listen to this Baba. Because you brought me in. You brought me in 2 years ago.
Thank you.
So we need you out there, sir. We need you out there. And in the middle of phone, everybody knows the same area. We need more of your material. We need more of your material. But for your material to be more effective, it has to be in audio. Like everybody, right? Like my people, pages more. So thank you for coming, sir. And I'll be looking for maybe a week from now will be fine, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. The last person we're going to take, please, my family, my friend, my sister, my uncle, my auntie, please don't raise up your hand again. Oh, Samson, ẹni ọpọ́n súnkàn ẹ bá káwọ́lẹ̀ o kẹsẹ̀ yín lẹ̀ àti rí yín kẹ́ ẹ sọ̀rọ̀ sókè má bu ẹnu.
Mo kí bàbá wa, mo kí heritage o, ẹ̀gbọ́n mi pàtàkì ọ̀rẹ́ mi, èèyàn mi, àdúpẹ́ àkú.
Ok, mo ti mẹ́ tó sọ̀rọ̀ nísìnyí ó ti yé mi.
Ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ̀kú gbogbo wàhálà yìí, ọlọ́run ọba òrìjà bá lọ.
Àmín.
Máa mú kí yín o, ẹ̀kú ọgbọ́n, ẹ̀kú òye, ẹ̀kú ìmọ̀. Ìmọ̀ tọ́lọ́run fún ọlọ́run ní gbà.
Àmín àṣẹ.
Gígùn àlàáfíà ara.
Àmín.
Gbogbo làkàkà ilẹ̀ Yorùbá kò ní já sásán.
Àmín àṣẹ.
Ó ṣọ̀wọ́n púpọ̀ tabaníkà wò ó torí pé ẹni bá ti rí yín ọlọ́run dìdí blessing ni and pẹ̀lú gbogbo nǹkan àti ìwà tútù ohun ìrẹ̀lẹ̀ àti ọgbọ́n ẹwẹ́ ṣe ń bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ látàárọ̀ mi ò lè dìde bí tí mo jókòó sí mo fẹ́ gbọ́.
abẹ́yìn kan ni ọmọ pẹ́ lè dìde tìyìn.
ọmọ mi balẹ̀ wọ́n á rí pé ọlọ́run dìdí ìgbà yẹn torí pé gbogbo ẹ ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn ẹ mú òkun kí ló ti ń pè in and out ẹ fi ń yí àwa káà mọ bó ṣe ń lọ torí àwa ń pariwo 1914 amalgamation ọkọ àpapọ̀ by the same time àwa wò pé ẹ wo 1914 àwọn tó ní ọ̀tẹ̀ ìjókòó tó ń sáì kìíní ọdún mélòó bàbá wúlò ọ̀gán wà ọdún mélòó ní zik wà ọdún mẹ́wàá mẹ́rin ṣé wọn lọ jókòó lọ sáì kìíní bàbá àwọn olùwò ló jókòó kalẹ̀ tó wọ́n á ń fún wa ní àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ burúkú anyway ẹjọ́ ẹ má bínú ìbéèrè tí mo fẹ́ béèrè ni pé ẹjọ́ ìhà wo lẹ kọ sí àwọn Afẹ́nifẹ́re nítorí pé ìdí question mi ni pé ó lọ rẹ àwọn ọmọdé òye wọn ọmọ ń pa ẹ má bínú kọfúríjì mi o tọ́wọ́ mọ̀ ń pa ẹ̀ ni wọn sì ní jókòó kọ́ máa sọ pé ká sì jókòó sínú òkùnkùn nígbà tí ìmọ́lẹ̀ ti tàn ẹjẹ́ jáwọ́ nínú àpò tí ò yọ ká gbomi lákaná ẹ jókòó síbẹ̀ nígbà míì wà tí bàbá bá sọ fún ọmọ pé ṣe báyìí ìjókòó ṣáà wà tọmọ mọ́ ọmọ akọ̀rọ̀ lọ́wọ́ bàbá ẹ̀ ṣé bàbá kí ló dé ó ti ṣé bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe máa pajú dé tààrọ̀ tẹ máa fi wá sínú ipò tá a wà yìí náà rèé àbọ̀ kí lè fẹ́ lọ jẹ́ fẹ́lẹ́ dùmarè.
ẹ ṣe ṣé kí n dáhùn màá bẹ̀rẹ̀ nípa ti Afẹ́nifẹ́re mo ti sọ tẹ́lẹ̀ pé ó ti pẹ́ tí mo ti wà nù kíní wọ́n bí mi mọ́ ní kí n sọ fún nígbà tí bàbá lè fi ọmọ kékeré tó wà primary school kó máa sọ àwọn ìbẹ̀rẹ̀ ìjìnlẹ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ tí mo ṣe ránṣọ́ọ̀sì. Ìgbà tí wọ́n dá Afẹ́nifẹ́re renewal group lẹ̀ mo jẹ́ ìmọ̀ ní London bíbáyìí nǹkan tí mo sọ fún ọ ni pé a gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ political party or political party supporter pé ká jókòó ká kọ́lẹ̀ reason tá a fẹ́ fi wà ní Nàìjíríà and reason why we should not wọn gbà pẹ̀lú mi kí ni là ń support níyà mo yọra mi kúrò wọn tó gbọ́ mi ò bá wọn jà mo bá Désànyà sọ̀rọ̀ and then even pa Adébánjọ gbàtàn wá ṣèpàdé kan bíbà ní 1999 or 1998 to be specific after Abiola a lọ bá wọn ní ìpàdé ẹ̀ ní South a dẹ̀ gbé some documents jáde including the fact pé kò yẹ kí a máa gbé Nàìjíríà lárugẹ pé Yorùbá lè dá dúró wọn á dẹ̀ succeed gbogbo àwọn òyìnbó ló mọ̀ nípa ẹ̀ kíní kan this and that òun àti Fálàyé àti Ọláníwọ̀n Ẹ̀dà wọ́n wà ní pàdé and then late Papa Adéníran of 134 Bangbóṣe òun ni mentor wa àti patron ṣáàdì wa Yorùbá National Movement wọ́n bá wọn sọ èmi o mo máa continue láti bá wọn sọ tó máa gbóòótọ́ torí mo yìí sọ pé ní last time tí mo kàn tí a tún pàdé lórí Zoom mo gbọ́ tí Papa Adébánjọ sọ pé nọ́mbà mi wà elébù to can speak to me unfortunately mi ò ní nọ́mbà àwọn mo fẹ́ kù wọn kí.
máa fún yín ní nọ́mbà yẹn tẹ́ bá ṣe tán sáà.
bí bá bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀ mo mọ̀ pé bóyá èyí tó òyìnbó máa ń pè ní rẹ̀kà lágbára Ọlọ́run Lódùmarè á ṣẹlẹ̀ sí wọn. ẹ mọ nǹkan tí mo sọ iná ìmọ́lẹ̀ yẹn á tàn sí wọn lágbára Ọlọ́run Lódùmarè.
mi ò
mi ò ní sọ pé àná wọn máa ń ṣe mí.
àmì o
máa ń rò ó pé àwọn lè wọ́n fà wá sẹ́yìn wọ́n ní àwọn ní òye kan wọ́n ní káwọn máa sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ìjọ ọ̀lẹ́ máa parọ́ ìgbà ìjọ ọ̀lẹ́ máa fi igi ìgbálẹ̀ bojú dà bẹ́ẹ̀ mọ̀ pé àwọn Fúlàní mọ̀ pé ẹ fẹ́ lọ ni èrò ní ká máa pariwo pé true federalism true federalism táwọn ìbò kan náà text wọn pé it's a theoretical idea to it's not impossible we are deceiving ourselves. In fact, like gbogbo yín ti sọ, I will put these things both in written and audio version. Iṣẹ́ rẹ̀ fún mi, and in fact, there are documents that are ready which I can now compact together and start delivering it in short bits so that a lè yé wa. Afẹ́nifẹ́re àwọn èèyàn wa ni, òye wọn ni, wọ́n rò bóyá àwọn. Òye wọn ni, wọ́n rò bóyá àwọn. Ara nǹkan tí mo sọ fún ìyàwó pásítọ̀ yẹn ni pé wọ́n wà ní inú mọ́lẹ̀ wọ́n rò bá àwọn wà ní mọ́lẹ̀ bí àwọn ti sọ̀rọ̀ gidi. Ọ̀rọ̀ gidi wo lẹ sọ? Tó bá ń jìyà láti 1900s la mà ti ń jìyà ibọ̀. Wọ́n ṣe títí tí wọ́n kó Hausa sójà wọ́n defeat Egbaland wọ́n tó fọ̀sán sínú Nàìjíríà. Wọ́n ṣe títí ọjọ́ ọ̀la máa dijú mọ́rí gbà. Adela kàwé 1,000 professors 1,000 PhDs 1,000 whatever bùlà wà. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ má bínú pé mo sọ̀rọ̀ báyìí o, mo fẹ́ kó yé wa ni pé ilẹ̀ Yorùbá gbọ́dọ̀ jáde kó rìn bí alágbára tọ́lọ́run ti yàn sáyé ká dé yí nǹkan padà fún gbogbo ilẹ̀ wa àti Áfíríkà. Tá a bá ṣe Ọlọ́run ló dáríjì wa, Ọlọ́run ló tún wà lè dáríjì wa.
Ẹ ṣe gan sir. There's a big difference.
Ẹ má bínú kan mo rófin bàbá ẹ ṣe wo gbọ́dọ̀ pé kíní ní spiritual undertone nínú ẹ jẹ́ ká wọ láti bẹ̀ ẹ má bínú.
Òótọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ ni, and that's why like all of you are claiming, I myself am surprised that at this stage I don't have arthritis, I don't have leg pain, I still run around. I'm 74. Ó ní ìdí tí Ọlọ́run ní mi fi ṣe kì í ṣe torí agbára tèmi àti torí gbogbo wa ni, and you pointed it out. Ọlọ́run àdúró ti gbogbo wa àdèmá ṣe.
Pásọ ẹ̀yìn pàdánù ní díẹ̀ a ó jọ délẹ̀ lérí yẹn.
Àmín ní àṣẹ.
Àmín o.
Ẹ ṣé mo dúpẹ́ gbogbo ẹ̀yin èèyàn mi pátápátá. A fẹ́ gba ìpè mọ́ bọ̀ mi kì í ignore call àwọn èèyàn mi náà ni nǹkan tó ṣe mí náà nìyẹn. Mi kì í ignore call yín náà ni nítorí tí máa ń ignore call yín. Báwo mo ṣe máa ní mo gbúrò ẹ̀gbọ́n mi àbábúrò mi àbọ̀rẹ́ mi ó pè mí mi ìgbé fóònù. Ẹ ló kí lórúkọ yín àti bílẹ̀ fún ẹ̀ṣọ́ra yín o. Ó yẹ sọ̀rọ̀.
Wọ́n yìí ló pé mo ti pè lẹ́ẹ̀kan tí bàbá àtẹ̀yìn ti dá mi lóhùn question mi. Ọ̀sẹ̀ ó lọ́rọ̀ kan tó padà jẹyọ lọ́kàn mi tí mo ní pé kí n pè kí n béèrè lórí. Nígbà tí ẹ kọ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ètò yìí ẹ dá sílẹ̀ pé ẹ béèrè lọ́wọ́ bàbá pé ṣé àwọn elédè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì pé ṣé wọ́n fara mọ́ pé kí orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá àti àwọn ẹlẹ́yàmẹ̀yà tó wà ní Nàìjíríà kan máa lọ lọ́tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀. Bàbá sọ̀rọ̀ nípa bí ó ṣe kọ́kọ́ ṣẹlẹ̀ tó fi dàbí pé àwa fúnra wa la múra wa wọnú Nàìjíríà. Tá bá kan ìtàn yẹn lọ síwájú sà, ipa tí àwọn elédè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì tó ń kó nípa ìjà Biafra tó fi di pé wọ́n fi win Biafra ó fi wọ́n bí pé wọn ò fẹ́ kí Nàìjíríà pín. Inú ìtàn yẹn àwọn kankan ṣì máa ní ìbẹ̀rù pé ìgbésẹ̀ tá à ń gbé lọ́wọ́ yìí sùn ipa wo ni orílẹ̀-èdè báyìí lè kó, ipa báyìí ni orílẹ̀-èdè báyìí lè kó nínú ètò tó ń lọ lọ́wọ́. So báwo ni la ṣe lè clarify pé nínú ìjàgbara tó ń lọ lọ́wọ́ yìí àwọn yìí ò tún ní dọwọ́ bọ̀ kan tó ń bàjẹ́ kó di pé ìtàjẹ̀sílẹ̀ kó wá kó pọ̀ síbi ju ti tẹ́lẹ̀ lọ àbí kó tún wá lélẹ̀ yìí. So yẹn ni ìbéèrè tí ó wá sọ́kàn mi tí mo ti gbà pé ó yẹ ká tanná sí ipa tí àwọn elédè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì kó nípa ogun Biafra.
Ẹ bá mi ṣe pápá bọ̀dọ̀ mi, ẹ bá mi ṣe pápá, ẹ ṣe pápá.
Ẹ jẹ́ tètè dáhùn ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn.
Question mi nìyẹn sà. Question mi nìyẹn sà. Ipa wo ni àwọn elédè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì kó nínú ogun Biafra? Báwo náà ṣe lè tún di pé wọ́n tún jáde ní ìjàgbara tó ń lọ lọ́wọ́?
Ok, ẹ máa gbọ́ lórí system yìí.
Ẹ jẹ́ kí n sọ fún yín, ẹ lọ́rọ̀ yẹn. Luckily, àwọn documentation wà láyé ìgbà yẹn tí èmi náà wà léèwé ìgbà yẹn. kan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ni pé àwọn òyìnbó wọ́n bẹ̀rù bí direction bàbá wa máa gbé wa lọ. torí ọ̀rọ̀ Russia wà ní Soviet containment policy influence their position. wọn fẹ́ ilẹ̀ ìlú yẹn lẹ̀ kí àwọn Soviet wá gba gbogbo ẹ̀ mọ́ àwọn lọ́wọ́ nígbà táwọn ti develop ọjà yẹn. They are more concerned about the market. And ìgbà tí Awólọ́wọ̀ jáde ní prison instead of kó pe àwọn èèyàn wa torí mo mọ̀ pé ìyàwó wọn ọlọ́fẹ́ nǹkan wọn tí wọ́n ní kán fi ọ̀rọ̀ ìjọba Nàìjíríà lẹ̀. bí gọ́wọ́n ṣe tàn wọ́n láti wọ gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì ni àwọn Gẹ̀ẹ́sì wò pé before that end àwọn òyìnbó wọn fẹ́ kí Nàìjíríà bọ́ sọ́wọ́ Russia because at some point during the war apart from pé àwọn British try láti compete láti help Nigeria the Russians were also helping. There was a competition internationally tọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ yẹn mọ̀. That was what happened. So they do not want to lose their market. Mo ń sọ fún ọjà ní Nàìjíríà jẹ́ fún Britain and it's still their market. So we should quit the market. We should love it. They created a market space. And that's the contact with anywhere in the world. Báà náà ṣe máa ń lọ kí n sọ fún àwọn Mali people wọ́n máa ń ra ọjà nílẹ̀ Yorùbá wọ́n á ra obì wọ́n á gbé yọ̀ wá gbèrè lọ́wọ́ ìtàn àtijọ́ wọ́n á dẹ̀ ní èrè dàda tí wọ́n gbẹ́ tó wà ní tòsí Jẹ́bà tó náà ká sí direction táwọn Mali tó bá ń padà lọ tó bá ti débẹ̀ wọ́n mọ ibi tó máa kọrí sí tó máa padà lọ. We know astrology and everything in our land. We were land GPS àmọ́ nílẹ̀ wa in those days.
Nítorí àkókò wa bàbá ẹ jẹ́ kí a gé pépèpé sá nítorí àkókò yẹn ti lọ gan mo dẹ̀ sí ní program méjì tí a sì máa ṣe lálẹ́ yìí. Mo ní àwọn bọ̀dá mi kan tó yẹ pé Oliver Twist ni wọn àwọn méjì ni àwọn méjèèjì wà lórí kan náà wọn á kọ́ pé kan yín yòókù ẹ̀jọ́ torí Ọlọ́run má pè mọ́ lálẹ́ yìí ẹ jẹ́ ká fi dẹ̀ di aago 10 ẹgbọ́n sókè bàbá wa tó wà ní London tó wà ní England ẹgbọ́n sókè tó wà lórí kan náà.
Baba Ajala ọlọ́wà lọ́rẹ̀ mi àtẹ̀yìn bá akétoyè because tí ìbá ṣe ẹ̀yìn ta ló fẹ́ ṣí wa lójú àwọn tá a pè lágbà jẹ́ pé at this stage over 90 you are still saying restructuring which restructuring are we looking for anyway kò jọ mí lójú náà because ẹni tó bá ti gbé ní other part of Europe if you deal with the Senegalese if you deal with the Mali you know the kì í ṣe nǹkan wọn ordinary iṣẹ́ tó ti parí ni the only thing tí mo fẹ́ kí àwọn agitator àwa tá à ń fẹ́ Yorùbá Nation ká máa ṣe ká máa gbàdúrà kọ́lọ́ ń tọ̀ṣì àwọn bàbá yìí káwọn náà rí kí wọ́n rí light ní kí ló dé iṣẹ́ tó ti parí ni wọ́n ti fi sínú chief wọn mú wọ́n ti fi wọn ní nǹkan jẹ́ they can't go back but divine intervention if you see what is happening now it is only we Yoruba that are in diaspora that are agitating for this because àbáwọn jẹ́ màálù tó ti fún ní ọ̀ntúnmú àbáwọn jẹ́ màálù tó ti fún ní ọ̀ntúnmú.
bàbá wa ẹ bá mi ṣe ní pápá sá ẹ bá mi ṣe ní pápá sá.
ok àwọn tó wà nílé ẹrí pẹ́ra wọn balẹ̀ ni wọ́n ń dè wọ́n mọ́lẹ̀ ni wọ́n ń rìn wọ́n mọ́lẹ̀ ni anyway Ọlọ́run ló dé yìí o ó dẹ̀ ti ṣe é ṣe.
ṣe lágbára lẹ́dùnmáà rẹ̀.
bàbá èèyàn kan sì wà lórí ìkànnà sí kí n tó fẹ́ kẹ́ bá mi round ẹ̀ up papọ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan ṣoṣo mo máa fi fóònù yẹn sí do not disturb so ẹni tó bá pè kò ní tí n bá ti rí nǹkan téèyàn bá rí ìdọ̀tí téèyàn bá rí létí àwo tó bá wà ń bẹ̀ gan kò kì í ríyàn lára ẹ gbọ́n sókè ẹ ń gbọ́ lẹ́yìn o bàbá wa láti Amẹ́ríkà ẹ má gbọ́ lẹ́yìn o.
okay ma okay sir.
ẹ gbọ́n sókè
ẹ̀yin fẹ́ gbọ́ mi sà.
agbóyin sà.
ẹ jọ àwọn bàbá wa ni mo fẹ́ béèrè ìbéèrè kan lọ́wọ́ wọn ni gẹ́gẹ́ bí a ṣe gbọ́njú gba nílẹ̀ Yorùbá pé tí ọba máa jọba ọ̀rẹ́kù náà máa kọ̀ǹsọ́ọ̀tì wọ́n tó mọ ẹni tí ọba tọ́ sí. kí ló wá dé tí ó wá yí padà
sí títì àti pé gbogbo ìgbésẹ̀ tá a gbé lórí ọ̀rọ̀ pé a fẹ́ kí ni ìjọ tí
ẹ̀ka lẹ́sà tó bá jẹ́ pé ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn lè fẹ́ béèrè ẹ filẹ̀ di ọ̀la nígbà tí bàbá wọn onífá máa wà ń bíbá yìí so wọ́n á lè tú ní wẹ́wẹ́wẹ́wẹ́wẹ́ kì í ṣe pé wọ́n béèrè lọ́wọ́ ọ̀rẹ́kù mọ́ àwọn èèyàn wa ni wọ́n fi àlùmọ̀kọ́rọ́ yí ọ̀rẹ́kù yẹn padà nígbà tí ọkùnrin bá ti ń borí tó ń dé wíìgì bí obìnrin ṣẹ̀mọ̀ pé oríṣiríṣi nǹkan ló lè ṣẹlẹ̀ tó yẹ ọlọ́run adùn tí wa ẹ ṣe gan ni ẹ jẹ́ fi ilẹ̀ kẹ́ máa lọ tó bá dọ̀la ẹ bèrè question lọ́wọ́ bàbá wọn fà lọ́la láago 4 la máa bèrè ètò ẹ ṣe gan ni sà mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ ti bá a dá sí ètò lẹ́nìí bàbá wa ẹ jẹ́ nǹkan kan fún yín kẹ́ tó máa lọ orin náà ló sọ pé bàbá o olúwa dá bàbá sí fún wa bàbá o olúwa dá bàbá sí fún wa ẹ ṣé gan ni sà mo dúpẹ́ ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa mo fi kíní kọ́kọ́ bàbá lọ́rùn ní ọjọ́ kan wọ́n á gba lífù ọjọ́ kan ọjọ́ kejì wọ́n á tún wá ọjọ́ kan wọ́n á gba lífù ọjọ́ kan ọjọ́ kejì wọ́n á tún wá from now till the 1st of May that is how you will be seeing baba every other day ní agbára ọlọ́run àṣẹ ọlọ́run dẹ̀ ti gùn. The good thing about baba is that baba is very dedicated to what he's doing. I'm sure I can guarantee you he won't say no. Baba has given me his word some times ago. At this time last year, he's supposed to be giving me 8 hours a day, 3 days a week, lecturing people about Oduduwa agitation, which we've now said is not an agitation, is the solution of the amalgam. So, gbogbo nǹkan tẹ́ bá fẹ́ mọ̀, gbogbo nǹkan tẹ́ bá fẹ́ kọ́, gbogbo nǹkan tẹ́ bá fẹ́ rí, right? And láti múralẹ̀ ní aago mẹ́rin. The next one will be on Thursday now.
That's okay.
The next one will be on Thursday, but it will not be at 4 o'clock. The reason it won't be at 4 o'clock, it will be at 2 o'clock in the afternoon because of Yinka Odumakin's funeral. So it won't be at 4 o'clock because that one starts in the evenings, right? The line in state is, we have the tribute tomorrow. We have line in state on Thursday. We have another line in state in Ife on Friday. We have the interment on Saturday. So apart from those few days, right, that we will shift it to 2 o'clock. Every other day, it will be 4 o'clock. So we will give Baba weekend off. So Baba will not come Saturday and Sunday. But then Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So for the next 11 days. So you have a lot to take peace from Baba's life, from Baba's memory. But before you go, I want you to do something for heritage. This is for heritage. For everybody on this platform tonight, I want you to support heritage with whatever you can. £10 is the minimum. £10 is the minimum. If you can, if you cannot, please don't force yourself to do what you will regret. If it's convenient for you, please do it. If it's not convenient for you, please don't do it. I've put the PayPal link on the platform. I've put the PayPal link on it. So if you can, please support Heritage with £10. If you're in America, you can make it £15 to make it worthwhile. And if you can't, if you're in Nigeria, don't even try it. Use the money to feed the people in Nigeria. Unless you are specially blessed. Specially blessed, you have about 4 or 5 cars in Nigeria. That is when I will take your money in Nigeria. We are contributing for people to buy t-shirts here, and we will distribute it for free in Oduduwa land. The one we are running after now is the 2,000 pieces of t-shirt we want to take to Oduduwa land for the Lagos rally. For the Lagos rally, if you are interested in that, just text me Yoruba Nation t-shirt, and that one I will send you the information to do that. I've been able to pin the PayPal link on YouTube, but if you need it, please get in touch with me. You have to. I'm going to display a number now, which is a WhatsApp number. If you want to support, you can just send support to that number. Support to this number, and I will send you the necessary information you need to. £10. I'm sure it's not too much to ask for. Only if it's convenient for you. If it's not convenient for you, you don't have to struggle to do it. I'm saying this because it is very, very important. There's no point in doing something that you'll be crying later on in the back here. Baba, you want to say something, Abi? Daddy?
I want to thank everybody who has prayed for me. That I want that prayer also to be for them, so that we all.
Baba, is it who has prayed for you or pray for us? Sure, are you?
Yeah, I'm saying it back that for all of us, those prayers will be one that will follow us to the final debute. Tọkọ abama délẹ̀ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá máa jáde. The way we wish it. Lágbára Ọlọ́run Lédùmarè. Mo kí yín àlàáfíà ló máa bá gbogbo yín àti gbogbo àwọn tó ti fi ara balẹ̀ gbọ́ mi o. Ọlọ́run á fún ọ níyè àti òye. Ìtí ò bá yé wọn kàn béèrè lọ́wọ́ mi again. Ìtí bá ṣìṣe sísọ kan má bínú o. So mi ò bú anybody. Like I always said, my great leader Awolowo was great in his right. But just like Churchill, he had his feelings. He did not look at his people. A rí pé wọ́n bèrè lọ́wọ́ bàbá wọn ní Kẹ̀nẹ́ ni, wọ́n á mọ̀ tán yẹn jinlẹ̀. Ìrẹ́mọ tó wà ń bẹ̀ yẹn, àwọn Fúlàní ló lé wọn kúrò ní Ọ̀yọ́lé. 10 new towns were formed when the Fulanis attacked our borders, our grassland borders. They couldn't come into our forest land borders. If you know the geography I'm describing, they were able to ride their horses through those grasslands. And then òru dẹ̀ máa ń jàjà bí èṣù náà ṣe máa ń rìn. Bí kíní ṣe describe wọn ìyẹn Clapperton, they are wicked and vicious people. And liars. It's in his book, A Sailor in the Desert. Oh, that's it.
Ẹ má worry, nígbà tẹ́ bá wá ní ọ̀túnla, ẹ fi hàn wá.
Not to our way, so that and to buy the right and I will take specific pages. And then I read some of them out. Tell you factually. Nípa ti pé dad mi fún mi ní ìwé as my inheritance. He left the book when he died for me to take when I start school. And the title of the book was The Liberty of Man, Child and Woman, and Woman and Child. R.J. Ingersoll. It's a rare book in the British Library. If you want to borrow it, it may take about 6 months to get it. I had that book, and it informed me on investigation from primary school.
Okay. Baba,
So,
before you
it
go,
is because of Olódùmarè, mo fi ní àwọn yẹn. It's not me. It's all of us. It's all of us. Ẹ ṣé for being with me and being with yourselves and being with ọmọ Olódùmarè ní ọmọlúwàbí tọ́lọ́run dá wa. Tí ò fún wa ní ìgbàgbé, akọ̀ǹkọ̀yìn sí ìgbàgbé, akọ̀ǹkọ̀yìn sódodo ni. A fẹ́ ọwájú sódodo láti sin lọ. Náà àdúró ti wà.
Àmì àṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Kẹ́ tó lọ, mo fún àwọn méjì kan ní privilege. They've been knocking the door for a long time to speak to you. The first person is my brother, is in Japan. He wants to ask you a question. And I said to myself, no, you're too far. After that one, I'll bring one of my father, my mentor, the one who is the big branch behind me, Otumba Olabode Osoni. After this brother from Japan, then Otumba Olabode Osoni, we want to speak to you as well. Brother from Japan, Egbon's okay.
Ẹ ṣé gan sir. Ẹ ṣé olóòtú. Bàbá mo kí yín o dáàdì. Ọjọ́ yẹn àkálẹ̀ o. Ẹ pẹ́ fún wa. Iṣẹ́ mo wà. Náà mo fara pamọ́ náà ni mo fọwọ́ mo bàtà mo ti gbọ́ gbogbo ẹyẹ sọ̀rọ̀.
ọ̀rọ̀ yìí dẹ̀ wọ̀ mí ní akínyẹra ọmọ Oǹdó ni mí ná wọ́n ti gbogbo kan tí ẹ̀ ń sọ pátá tèmi fi etí sí inú mi dùn wọ́n ti ẹ̀kọ́ tó wà bẹ́ẹ̀ ni pé gẹ́gẹ́ bí àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá gẹ́gẹ́ bí tọ́tàrà náà bọ́lẹ̀ náà bàbá wa àti bí a ṣe gbé dàgbà orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá yẹn àwọn tá a jẹ́ ọmọ Yorùbá gangan kí ni ìpilẹ̀ṣẹ̀ wa irú ìgbé ayé wo Yorùbá tí wọ́n gbé rí tó débi tí a di lọ́jọ́ èdè àwọn bàbá wa bóyá ó ní èèyàn kan tí a ti ṣẹ̀ rí tàbí ó ní nǹkan tó jẹ́ pé ó ti jẹ́ nǹkan bí èèwọ̀ fún wa tí àwọn òbí wa ti fẹsẹ̀ kọ ọ̀tọ̀ ti ṣe nípa ẹ̀ bí wọ́n á ń jà wá. So kí ni nǹkan tí ẹ lè rí tí ẹ rí láàrin ibẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí àgbàlagbà.
Màá bá bàbá dáhùn yẹn màá bá bàbá mi fẹ́ kí bàbá lọ bẹ̀ yẹn màá bá wọn dáhùn ẹ̀ ìdí tí mo tẹ̀ máa bá wọn dáhùn ẹ̀ ni pé wọ́n ń pe kinní kan ní akọ̀sẹ̀jáyé táwọn bàbá wa sọnù tán sọ sínú bíìn akọ̀sẹ̀jáyé yẹn ìgbà tí wọ́n dà sínú bíìn yẹn nǹkan tó kó bá wa jù nìyẹn àwọn sẹ̀lẹ́sì máa ń ṣe ó dẹ̀ pa àwọn kérúbù náà sì máa ń ṣe ṣùgbọ́n àwa yòókù àti dá gbogbo ẹ̀nà àwọn traditional culture wa nílẹ̀ Yorùbá ni pé irú aṣọ wo lọmọ yìí ò gbọ́dọ̀ wọ̀ gbogbo ẹ̀ ní bàbá onífá tó máa bá wa fọ́ sí wẹ́wẹ́ nígbà tí ètò yẹn bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ ṣe gbọ́sà ẹ jẹ́ ká fi bàbá lẹ̀ lórí political side of things ká fi the cultural side of things.
Jerry àtàtẹ̀bí mi yẹn wá dípá fún ìkankan tí mo fẹ́ sọ. Pé orúkọ tí à ń jẹ́ gẹ́gẹ́ bí Yorùbá tá ń jẹ́ mo ń wò ó gẹ́gẹ́ bí ẹ̀mí ṣe sọ fún mi tipẹ́tipẹ́ pé ìbí orúkọ tá à ń jẹ́ ìṣe orúkọ wa nìyẹn.
Níbi ọ̀sẹ̀ méjì sẹ́yìn ṣà kì í ṣe last week yìí the other week ẹ lọ listen sí ìjìnlẹ̀ program ìjọ Monday ó dà pé aago 6 àrọ̀lẹ́ àbágo 7 náà ṣe ìjìnlẹ̀ program or I will link you with bàbá ìjìnlẹ̀ fúnra wọn ọmọ bàbá ìjìnlẹ̀ ṣẹ́ṣì wà lórí ìkànnà.
bẹ́ẹ̀ ni mo wà ń bí omi òrebi kan.
ẹ bá mi dáhùn ìbéèrè yẹn ní ìṣẹ́jú àáyá kan ṣoṣo.
ó dáa ẹ ṣeun ìtumọ̀ tí ń jẹ́ Yorùbá bá a bá gé sí wẹ́wẹ́ tá a so padà òní jẹ́ Ọ̀yọ́ ru àbá tàbí Ọ̀yọ́ ló ní ìbà ibi torúkọ ti jáde nìyẹn Ọ̀yọ́ náà ti kọ́ jáde wá ó sì ní àwọn bàbá wa kan tó jókòó wọ́n fi ọwọ́ sí nígbà tí bàbá wa Samuel Ajayi Crowther tó ń ṣe ètò tí ọwọ́ àwọn òyìnbó ń gbà náà lọ́hùn pé orúkọ tá a jẹ́ wọn ò fẹ́ jẹ́ síwájú mọ́ torí nǹkan kan bẹ́ẹ̀ ní orúkọ tiwa gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá ló sì ní nínú àṣà àti ìṣe wa lójoojúmọ́ àwọn ọmọ ajíjúbà làwa ajúbà ó ní gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá ṣùgbọ́n o Ọ̀yọ́ ru àbá ó ní wọ́n gé tí wọ́n so papọ̀ tó di Yorùbá tá à ń jẹ́ lónìí Haúsá ò sọ wá lórúkọ Fúlàní ò sọ wá lórúkọ ojú bá ń lọ.
ṣé dùn mọ́ inú bàbá wa láti Japan.
ọjọ́ tí wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn mo gbọ́ gbogbo ẹ̀ wọ́ta mo jókòó mo gbàdúrà ẹ̀kọ́ lọ́run sọ̀rọ̀ mo dẹ̀ gbọ́ ìgbà màá wíṣà tí bá ẹ̀gbọ́n yẹn tó sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn màá fẹ́ bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀ lọ́jọ́ kan.
màá link yín ọ̀pẹ̀lú ọ̀rọ̀ máa wọ̀rí èmi personally I link people up with people because Baba Ajala yìí ẹni tó máa sọ̀rọ̀ next yìí ló mú mọ Baba Ajala gbọ́dọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ni sà ẹ ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ni sà no problem asọ̀rọ̀ later ẹ ṣe. Ọ̀gá mi pàtàkì láti iléeṣẹ́ Heritage Television àwọn ni ọ̀pọ̀ sọ́kàn láti béèrè ìbéèrè lọ́wọ́ bàbá mi ọ̀gá mi ẹ̀gbọ́n mi bàbá mi. Ọ̀gá mi pàtàkì. Ẹyin sílẹ̀ lọ́dọ̀ yín sà ẹyin sílẹ̀ lọ́dọ̀ yín bàbá. Ọ̀túnba ẹyin sílẹ̀ lọ́dọ̀ yín ẹyin sílẹ̀.
Ṣé bẹ́ẹ̀ tà sí?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni sà.
Ó ṣe adé Olúwapọ̀nlé àríwá dàbí ó fẹ́ dà níbẹ̀ kò ní bàjẹ́.
Àmín.
Bó ṣe gbogbo ohun tí irin tí gbogbo ẹ̀dá wa máa rìn sí tẹ́nì kankan lè ṣe sí ó máa rìn ó máa kúnná. Ẹni tó jókòó ní stúdíò lẹ́yìn tí ẹ̀ ń bá sọ̀rọ̀ yìí tí ẹ̀ bá mọ̀yàn fún 30 ọdún mọ́dàna 30 ọdún mo rò pé olúwẹ̀ tíráì tí ẹ̀dẹ̀ bára jẹ́ tí ẹ̀ bá nǹkan kẹ́ ẹ̀ fọmọ jẹ́ jẹ́ pé ṣe ń lọ sílé ara yín tó sì wà lémi ń jẹta àjọṣe ń jẹfa àjọ bára wa ṣeré kò dẹ̀ sún tá kì í discuss. So èèyàn ńlá ni alàgbà Àjàlá I will come a long way and ọpọlọ wọn Ọlọ́run má jẹ́ kí iye tí wọ́n ní Ọlọ́run má pa mọ́ lórí Ọlọ́run má yẹ wọ́n sì máa gbé yìnyín lọ 74 lèmi àti ẹ̀ wọ́n kàn fi bí couple of months jù lọ níbẹ̀ pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ náà we are very very close. I listen to most of what he said, but ní àárín ara wa we always have our differences, and differences were ní pé how do we go about this? How do we go about the project Yoruba Nation? And I've always said it. Ṣé rí àwọn tó ń fẹ́ dá sí ọ̀rọ̀ wa? Àgàgà àwọn who is who tó ń kàwé ńláńlá rẹpẹtẹ tó ń ní oríṣiríṣi kìíní. They have their own argument, and we need to balance it. Ó dàbí ohun tó ń sọ pé Fálànà sọ. Ohun tí Fálànà sọ, well, and I said, irú wa báyìí, irú èmi, irú alàgbà Àjàlá. Àti wà ní pòṣán ìpéjọ ní tọmọdé bá débi tẹ́rù láti bá ẹrù lè bá wa láti bẹ́ẹ̀ nìbọ̀dì sọ̀rọ̀. Ọbásanjọ́ lè dúró níwájú akábẹ́ẹ̀sì náà. Tó bá tọ́sọ̀ pọ̀gùn Ṣẹ́gun, àlè dágbájá nǹkan báyọ̀ Wọlé Ṣóyínká. I can speak to them directly. And that's one beautiful thing that I believe I have managed to achieve. Now, ohun tí fẹ́ sọ ní pé ṣẹ́rí gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ signatories lórí amalgamation wa nǹkan kan. There's one thing you know me, Ade, the big man behind the brain behind heritage. You know we've come a long way. Yes. My position is always different. My position is láti tún find time láti máa deal pẹ̀lú ara wa ọ̀rọ̀ látọ̀ látàrọ̀ ẹ̀wọ̀ lọ tí bàbá yìí sọ látàrọ̀. Àwọn bàjẹ́ dàrúdàrú kan sì wà ń bẹ̀. Ìwà tí wọ́n hù níjọ́ kìíní òye yìí sìn nígbà tí wọ́n bá tiẹ̀ dá lérú nígbà tó bá tiẹ̀ dá lé ṣẹ́yà tó wà lórí ẹ̀kẹ́dẹ̀ lẹ́yìn tí wọ́n ti tọ́lẹ̀ ti lọ́rùn ní padà rámọ́. Ìjẹ́ kò yẹ ká tún. Awólọ́wọ̀ nìkan single handedly. Gbogbo ọ̀tá tí Awólọ́wọ̀ ní Western region níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn àwọn ọ̀tá ipá wọn fẹ́ kó nǹkan jẹ tó dẹ̀ ní kò ṣeé ṣe. Ó ní everybody láti ní tap water nù ilé ẹ̀ lówí. Àwọn everybody láti lọ sí school. Àwọn ọmọ tí ọ̀gẹ́ pọ́n wà náà lọ sí school níbi tí Italian mẹ̀kúnnù wà bẹ̀tẹ̀. Ó ní ọmọ organizer, ọmọ tailor, ọmọ mechanic, ọmọ alápàtà. Ó ń láti kàwé. Ìyẹn ní opportunity là nílé ni. Èèyàn mélòó ló kù bẹ́ẹ̀ tó jẹ́ pé tó bá jẹ́ ó fẹ́ kí ọmọ làkejì jẹ́. Tí program oríṣiríṣi tí wọ́n ń gba owó tó wọ́n fi ṣe. Ìyẹn ni mò ń sọ fún ọ̀rẹ́ mi pé à ń láti wá bá ṣe máa deal pẹ̀lú ẹ̀. Issue yẹn is a big issue. Wàhálà wa ò ní já sásán o. Wàhálà wa ò ní já sásán. So ẹ̀kọ́ kan tá a bá tún tẹ̀ bá tún lọ́pọ̀ tí máa sọ pé à ń láti deal gbogbo àwọn tó ti ń contribute látàárọ̀. Ìdùnnú ni fún ọbẹ̀ tí ń gbà tó bá di reality. Àwọn kan máa ṣe ọmọ kóga gàgbà apá. Aláàrán fẹ́ ṣe gbálà fẹ́ ṣàwò. Àwọn èèyàn púpù yẹn à ń láti bẹ̀ sí ṣoògùn ẹ̀ ń sìn. And ogun òjì pé ká bẹ̀ sí implement àwọn area àgbẹ̀kan tó ń pè ní rule of law. À ń láti bẹ̀rẹ̀ nítorí gbogbo àwọn tó wà ń bẹ̀ sìn they are going to be the same wine. Tábà ti dé Yorùbá land àwọn abẹ́sí wa lọ fún nínú ìpọ̀tù. So mo fẹ́ dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ọ̀rẹ́ mi mo dẹ̀ dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ tiẹ̀ náà iléeṣẹ́ yóò ní jóná ọ̀wá máa ròkè gbogbo àṣeṣe. So what I'm saying in effect ni pé why he's telling his history I want to be about the present and the present will be kí ni ká tún ṣe táàní fi sọ story yìí another 40 years fáwọn ọmọ àtàwọn ẹgbẹ́ àwọn méjì kan sọ̀rọ̀ yìí wọ́n dẹ̀ ṣe effort kí ló tún dàrú òyìnbó lórí méjì o rule of law àwọn gọ́gọ́ jù wá lọ ṣùgbọ́n rule of law yẹn you know me by now òun gọ́gọ́ dẹ̀ mọ̀ mi rule of law yẹn ni àwọn àtúmọ̀ ní láti máa discuss láti complement àti supplement historian Ajala. We need to complement his efforts and that's why I look forward to doing. Ẹ ṣé mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín o.
Ẹ ṣé bàbá mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín nǹkan tẹ́ gbé lómi lọ́wọ́ náà ni mò ń ṣe sà nítorí pé tí o bá sẹ́yìn ni mi lè máa sọ̀rọ̀ lénìí nítorí pé mi ń ṣe sọ̀rọ̀sọ̀rọ̀.
Àṣeyẹ ló lè máa ṣe àṣeyẹ ló máa ṣe.
Àmín.
Olúwàgbàdúrà.
Bàbá fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ ó yá Alex.
Mo fẹ́ sórí gbogbo nǹkan tí ọ̀rẹ́ mi láíláí sọ yẹn it's true but àwọn tó ti ń gbọ́ mi látàárọ̀ wọ́n ti fún wa ní solution. We need before even the rule of law comes we need to get to the minds and soul of our people back home and abroad to understand the reason why a rule of law has to happen. And that will be understanding the history. Because in the ancient masters, you say, in the antiquity states, I'm sorry to go back to this type of thing. Torí bí àwọn bàbá sọ, kéèyàn tó mọ òní, a gbọ́dọ̀ mọ àná. I'm translating what is in some philosophy book. Kéèyàn tó mọ òní, ó gbọ́dọ̀ mọ àná. Tó bá ti mọ òní, òun ló máa mọ bóun ṣe máa tọ́jú nǹkan lẹ̀ fún ọ̀la. For you to understand your future, you have to go far back into antiquity and far forward into the future, and that is tomorrow. And that will inform you of today, whereby you are able to now disseminate the information of the antiquity to the present people, right from Omoton Fuloyan, ẹ máa kọrin fún, tó máa gbọ́ èdè nìyẹn. A mọ̀ pé Yorùbá lòun, to the ones coming, the 2-year-old and the elders, until the 90 or 100-year-old person. When that is achieved, which I believe is not an undoable thing, which we can, pẹ̀lú support in decimating the information down to the grassroots. Bí ṣe sọ, from ọmọ tó ń fún lọ́yàn tó ń kọrin fún pé ìlú wa gbọ́dọ̀ dìde o, we will get it. And then the rule of law will come. All those tó ń ṣe màgòmágó will not find themselves in the scheme of things. Because I said it once, tí a bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń lọ, ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà l'Ábùjá, ẹ yá tètè máa tọ́jú portfolio yín sílẹ̀ àbí briefcase yín lẹ̀, tẹ́ máa gbé, tẹ́ máa sáré, because kò ní sáyè fún yín láti kó aṣọ. I said it, and it's going to happen. Lágbára Ọlọ́run Olódùmarè. Then all of that is, and to make the rule of law come is putting in a provisional budget that will be broadcasting with the information we have about the past, and this is what we want to do. This is the advantages we are going to have if we have our own nation back. All the things that we've lost, we will get it back. Our children will no longer pay school fees. It's very possible. The money is there. We can generate it within 6 months. Tell you, it's proper management, and then we'll get all these things in place. Lágbára Ọlọ́run Olódùmarè, oyè yẹn ò ní tán lọ́wọ́ gbogbo wa o.
Thank you very much, sir. I want to appreciate you. I want láti dúpẹ́ pọ̀ lọ́wọ́ yín nítorí pé gbogbo kó ba lè dá náà ní bákàkiri. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo àwọn tó ti ń fi àtẹ̀ránṣẹ́ sí mi pé àwọn fẹ́ support Heritage Television. Ọpẹ́ púpọ̀ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo yín o, Ọlọ́run á bá mi dúró tì yín. Lágbára Ọlọ́run ní ọ̀túnla máa retí Baba Ajala padà nígbà tí a tún ní àwọn nǹkan míì tá a tún máa fọ́ sí wẹ́wẹ́ bí a ṣe fọ́ eléyìí sí wẹ́wẹ́ pé bóyá ọ̀rọ̀ iná la máa sọ, electricity la máa sọ ní ọ̀túnla pé electricity gangan kí ló ṣe wá tà lẹ́lẹ̀. It's not rocket science now, kò ń ṣe ọmọ bíbí gan ṣòro ṣe.
Inú mi dùn fún topic yẹn. So it's part of what I have been doing some research into too.
So nǹkan tá à ń ṣe ní electricity gangan àfọ̀sí wẹ́wẹ́ ń jọ́nà nítorí pé ní iléeṣẹ́ heritage yìí ṣe pé ká pariwo nìkan la fẹ́ ká pariwo, ṣùgbọ́n káwọn èèyàn mọ̀dí tí a ṣe gbọ́dọ̀ pariwo, ìdí tá a ṣe gbọ́dọ̀ kó lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà níbi tí a sí lára wọn dá wa mọ́bẹ̀, wọn kàn wá mọ́bẹ̀, wọn kàn rí wa mọ́bẹ̀, kí ló ta wá takú síbẹ̀ tá a kúrò ńbẹ̀. So gbogbo eléyìí la máa tú wẹ́wẹ́ ní ọ̀túnla. Ẹ rántí pé kì í ṣe aago mẹ́rin o, bí kò ṣe aago 2 ọ̀sán fún ìdí kan tàbí ìkejì. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo, mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín. Ọpọlọ yín tí ẹ fi kọ́ wa lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ lénìí, ọpọlọ náà ní dọ́wà láéláé. Ọlọ́run ọba á máa bá wa dì í mú, ẹ pẹ́ fún wa, ẹ pọ́ kẹrinkẹrin. Nígbà tí orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá bá dúró, wọn ò ní fi ń ṣe àwáàrí. Ẹnikẹ́ni tí ò bá grab number tó wà lórí ìkànnà yẹn, if you're on Zoom, you can leave me a chat on Zoom and I will pick it up and I will contact you. If you need to send me your number, then please do so. But it's easier for you to just WhatsApp me on this WhatsApp number because it's easier. Nígbà tí mo ṣe máa save number yín, mo lè máa receive kí o tó sá lọ o. Ẹ̀yin náà lè gbéṣẹ́ lé mi lọ́wọ́ o. Ìṣẹ́jú èmi náà iṣẹ́ tẹ́ bẹ̀ mí ni mò ń ṣe. Títí di alẹ́ yìí tí ẹ tún pàdé mi lórí ètò mi ní bí aago 10. Mo júbà Ọlọ́run, mo júbà ènìyàn, mo júbà alẹ̀, mo júbà òkè.
mo júbà ọba tó dá gbogbo ará ayé, mo júbà gbogbo ọlọ́run àwọn alààyè torí ọlọ́run alààyè ni ọlọ́run tiwa wọ́n ṣe ọlọ́run òkú. Mo júbà gbogbo àwọn tó nílé ayé, mo júbà gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lórí ètò lórí ìkànnì pẹ̀lú mi lè ní nítorí pé tí ò bá sẹ́yìn tẹ́ ń bá mi béèrè question lọ bàbá tẹ́ ń bá mi gbọ́ òkú ní ṣeé ṣe èèyàn láṣọ tèmi ẹ ṣé o. Láti iléeṣẹ́ Heritage Television náà ni àti kìí Adé ọmọ Thomas lórúkọ tèmi ó dìgbà. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of the newly formed Yoruba Nation.
Ó dàbọ̀ ẹ ṣé gan-an ni o. Ó dàrọ̀ o. Ṣé gbogbo yín tẹ ní sùúrù láti gbọ́ gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ tí mo sọ. Ọlọ́run tó ní ìyè àti ìfọkànbalẹ̀ láti gbọ́ mi. A fún ní gbogbo ẹ̀.